this. 1, 2, 2.
Check 1, 2. This is the soothing dorsal sounds of Cutloose. I think dorsal. That's dorsal fin.
Dorsal.
That's referring to some type of underwater mammal.
Yeah, cool.
All right,
that's working.
Check.
Sweet.
That's cool.
All right, cool. Do you need to go to the toilet or anything before we start, or
Nah.
you're all good?
Mate, I have the bladder of a DJ, so I can hold on for 6 hours.
6 hours, you reckon?
Jumping and dancing. I've done 8-hour sets.
Yeah.
Of like just holding on, and then I got to the end. And I'm like, it's like, do I still need to pee? I've been holding on for so long. It's like, you just reach this plateau.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever done fasting? Like, have you ever?
Yeah,
fasted,
I have. Yeah.
And the way that I explain to people when they go, oh man, I don't think I could go without like food that long, and I'm just going to be hungry. And I'm like, look, you get to a certain point of being hungry, and then you just stay at that hunger pain. It doesn't get worse.
Exactly.
So then you just start to deal with that hunger pain, and that's the same as like when I'm DJing and I have to pee. I reach this plateau of needing to pee, and then I'm like, I learn to deal with that kind of holding it in.
Yeah.
And now my bladder muscles are just they're insane. So if there was, I think I would win that category if there was DJ Olympics.
Yeah.
Holding your pee the longest, but I don't know how you measure that.
Yeah,
anyway, that's just something silly.
I suppose we can do. We'll grab a beer, man. I think we've kind of already started the podcast now.
We need to. All right, so I think this is, you know how in movies you have the clapper.
Yeah.
So your podcast has the.
Well, usually it's the cheers and the like that. That's
cheers.
the cheers. So. Thanks for coming in, man. First video podcast.
Oh man, thank you. There it is.
Yeah, we're here.
Probably moving a little bit closer.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is how it's always going to look, but for the first one, we're giving it a crack and got Cutloose on the on the podcast, man. Awesome. So good to have you in.
Thank you so much for having me. Amazing, Wakachangi. That's awesome.
Yeah, New Zealand beer. One of my favorites actually. And all the like writing on it's just hilarious banter.
How good's the art?
Yeah,
this is dope shit. Do a zoom in or something.
I actually made a I think it might be in the story, but I made a lamp out of the like the 6-pack thing. So like this.
Yeah.
I turned it into a lamp and made like a lamp for in here.
Fresh.
Because we get these all the time.
All right,
man.
cool.
They're always.
Yeah.
In the studio here. So thanks for coming in, man.
Dude, my pleasure. Good we actually finally found some time because
that's it. Yeah, it's so hard with everyone in this industry anyway. You know.
Yeah.
And it often ends up being Sundays. For everyone, it's Sunday 10 a.m. So we're back on it.
10 a.m.
Had a bit of a big one last night myself. I wasn't planning on having a big one. How did your night end up? Because I came and saw you at Mr. Mister.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I actually usually I play the late sets at Mr. Mister. I'm playing like 11 till 1 or 1 till 3.
Yep.
But last night I played the earlier set 9 till 11, and Charlie Hustle got on after me.
Oh, Charlie was on after you.
Yeah, Charlie was on after me, and who that'll be a podcast to remember.
Yeah.
And big shout outs to Mr. Hustle. And then he finished and he goes, you gonna stick around for a beer? I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then so I stuck around, had a few more beers, and then just some more people came into the club.
Yeah.
More bump-ins, more friends, more kind of like just socializing. And then before I knew it, I'm like, Steve, who is on the late set, 1 till 3, he rocked in early.
Okay.
And because he'd finished another gig and he said, fuck it, I'll just come through. I'm guessing I can fucking swear, right?
Oh, yeah. Do whatever you want, man.
Fuck yeah.
If you want to get naked and on film, whatever, it's up to you, man.
This is the first,
no one's done
official.
That yet, but, but you can do that if you want.
Well, they might have, but we haven't known because you haven't filmed it. So we probably all your previous podcasts have been done naked.
Oh, yeah, they're all naked. Yeah. Don't tell everyone.
This is the first clothed one because we're officially filming. I'm really upset the fact that, I had to wear clothes because of filming.
Well, fuck. YouTube just, I suppose we could put it on Pornhub or something, the podcast, if we
Let's do
did
that.
it naked. It's not on YouTube, guys. It's just going to be on Pornhub.
Yeah, here's the link, and everyone's got a subscription anyway that listens to the podcast. I'm sure.
That's it.
Well, I was I was there, and then Steve rocked up early, and so I'm like, oh well, now I've got to hang out and have a drink with Steve because I haven't caught up with him for a while because he's been on a bit of a holiday.
Yeah.
And yes, that's right. DJs have holidays. It is a stressful job. And then we caught up, and then by that time it was the end of Charlie's set, and then Steve jumped on, and I was like, all right, I'll hang out with Charlie and have a chat with him. And another mate, Alex Terrell, rocked up, and he used to DJ back in the day.
Yeah, I think I've
legend.
Met Alex.
Yeah, man. He was a really good DJ. Like when he was one of the younger DJs that was actually really talented and killing it, and he won a couple of DJ competitions early in the piece before Your Shot, before all that crazy stuff. And I was like, this dude's impressive. Charlie and I were both like, man, this guy's actually kind of good. He's mixing in some underground shit, but also dropping some heavy stuff. It was actually a DJ competition at the Monastery.
Oh, the Mono.
Back in the day, man,
that
Mono.
Place.
And
as everyone does.
True. And then like that's when we were kind of like, oh yeah. Anyway, he rocked up too, so we got to catch up with him. And he's been kind of like absent from the DJ scene. He's been kind of like rocking it. How's my vocal?
I know you're good. I just sometimes check just to check time and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
cool. So yeah, he was a bit absent, and now he's coming back, and he's producing some music at the moment. So he's
sweet!
Like, telling me about like some of the hip hop he's producing. So that's pretty cool. And then I like look at the clock, and I'm like, oh shit, I got a podcast to record.
Yeah, that's how I was too.
And I was just like, we both saw each other early.
Yeah.
You got some footage?
Yeah, I got some footage of.
Cue the footage.
Of you there. Yeah, put the footage in. Well, I'm not that great at editing. Well, actually, I haven't learned any editing yet, so we'll see if I can get that in.
Keep it simple. Do you use Ableton
for
production?
Yeah, I've got Ableton. Yeah.
Use Ableton to produce this.
Oh yeah, you reckon?
Simple. I've done it before on some of my videos. When I did like some old ass little redrums.
Yeah.
I did like this Nas redrum. I did a Kimbra redrum.
Yep.
And I thought at the time, man, I got to jump on this YouTube shit. Like this is like it's blown up, and I can't just like upload a song. I got to put a video to it. I didn't want to just kind of put this stagnant picture of my logo. Or something. I tried that and
it's
didn't
a bit
really
boring. Then people want to look at something.
So I worked on some artwork and tried to sort of learn how to do some video stuff. And as a DJ, you kind of have to learn how to do everything yourself. You can't outsource it because it costs way too much money. And so I just kind of figured out how to do a bit of editing. And in the end, I found out that you can just drag and drop a MOV file or MPEG into Ableton.
And I have seen that. You can do video stuff. Yeah.
And I was just like, well, how fucking easy is this? Because I've got the redrum on my master channel. Yeah. And after I've done a mix down, I've then exported the whole track and I've put it into.
It's just got the one audio. Yeah.
So I thought I'll just layer the original. So I grabbed her original video.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just muted the sound. So my song went over the top of hers.
Yeah,
and it looked like she was singing.
Yeah.
Then there was at the time I was producing some glitch hop.
Yeah.
And so I basically just went through and did little mini cuts and edits where I had the glitchy bits happen, like boom,
little stutters and stuff,
little stutters and sort of like rewinds and stuff. And I just coupled that with the video, and you're just editing the video just like you would the audio. Yeah. So it's really simple. So if you know how to cut and paste, man.
Yeah. If you know how to cut and paste, that's it.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's the thing though. That not every producer knows how to cut and paste properly.
Yeah.
Especially when Ableton changed the algorithm way back in the day. I think it was from Ableton 6 to 7.
Oh, geez, now you're going old school. You're making me sound young now, and that's usually the opposite in this podcast.
Dude, I'm straight up. I'm the oldest motherfucker you're probably gonna
have. OG man, OG.
But yeah, that's when I first started producing. Was Ableton 4. I got it free with a MPD 16, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or an M Audio little pad system.
MIDI
controller. And that was my first sort of step into trying to put my ideas that I had as a DJ onto Ableton, onto paper, pretty much. Right?
So you'd already been DJing at that stage?
Yeah, I'd already been DJing for a while. Yeah. And it was kind of like a point in my career where I was like, okay, I'm going to I need to put some of these ideas down on paper. I've got these musical ideas and this sort of like really cool concept of music that I want to get out and express myself through. And I didn't really sort of like, I didn't know what application I could use because I'd been using turntables my whole time to express myself. So I'd use the turntables to create the sounds that I wanted. But it only got me sort of so far that I really wanted to start doing drums and start of chopping up old school classics like Premiere and Pete Rock and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I got to figure out how to kind of like take this next level.
Yeah.
My brother at the time was really pushing me. He's like, dude, you got to get into production.
Yeah.
You got all these ideas and a good flair for kind of like selection and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so just do it. And I was listening. I grew up with all this old music, so I love all those old.
So what year are we talking about here when you say you got into?
Like 2004.
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah. Okay. So around that, mid 2000s. Yeah.
Mid 2000s.
Jeez, that's 15 years ago now.
Yeah, dude. Thanks. I'm gonna have another beer.
Yeah.
So I got from that was basically kind of like my foray into it, and that's how I know those older things. So I started cutting and pasting in Ableton back then, but they were warping the time around the audio, and it wasn't until I think Ableton 6 or 7. Please, Ableton aficionados, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was around that transition from 5 or 6 to 8 that they decided to actually start warping the audio sample around time, because it's like, man, you can't bend time.
So what, you couldn't, there was no warping before?
Yeah, there was, but what you were doing was you were stretching the time rather than stretching the audio to, blend with the time. So they changed that algorithm and it, which made more sense.
Yeah.
But still, if you'd already started on learning how to warp and cut and paste, because I was doing a lot of mashups, so I had to be searching for acapellas. I had a shitload of acapellas, and I was recording acapellas from my and instrumentals from my vinyl onto my computer to have those versions of them, because it was really hard to find digital copies or good digital copies back then.
Yeah.
Like a lot of USB DJs were recording straight from their CDs onto their computer.
Yeah.
Straight CD rip onto their USBs, and away they go. Whereas it wasn't that bloody easy for us turntablists and record.
You got to record it in.
We got to record the whole fucking thing from start to finish. And some of the shit I had was like, had a massive record sort of smudges and record hash from just being played or scratched in that one bit.
Yeah.
So
scratched in that one bit.
Yeah, man.
Just that good little cut.
That one little sample that's just so fucking dope.
Just so good in a track.
Yeah.
And then
so
you fuck the vinyl because you use it so often.
Oh man, when you're listening to a DJ's vinyl when that part of the song comes around, it's like nice, clear and crisp, and then it gets to that one part of the song and it turns into this like hashy sort of, like it's been filtered through sand.
Yeah.
Because he scratched that one thing to do all the time. So I had to kind of like record straight from vinyl onto my computer through Ableton.
Yeah.
And that involves getting a sound card, and so then that's sort of learning, okay, what's going to get that best result. Also a needle. I couldn't just use the Scratch M447 needles that I was using. I needed to sort of look at some more audiophile needles that can pick up the record a bit better. I had to learn how to clean the record, get that sort of thing. So, man, that took time.
So easy now.
Yeah, it's so easy now. So many websites you can just free MP3s and stuff like that. You can just like grab shit from.
Yeah.
So it was around that time, going back to my initial point, I'll be going off on little tangents.
Oh, that's
like this,
fine.
right?
That's what this podcast is all about.
So, like, it was back during that time where I couldn't find a lot of those really dope instrumentals that I had on wax, instrumentals of hip-hop artists that were sort of underground, semi-underground, and popular as well, because they were like 12 inches that had like a special remix from a group of producers that worked with one artist, like Busta Rhymes and Flip Mode Squad, you can get a Busta Rhymes 12-inch on his albums, but you'd have to get the single or extended play to get that dope Flip Mode Squad remix.
Yeah.
Or they had all those Elevate R&B LPs that came out that had these sick little kind of mashups and stuff on it, and you couldn't find that anywhere online.
No, of course. Because anyone who's gone out and bought it, it's like, I'm not putting this online. This is my gold.
Dude, yeah, there
I paid
was.
for this. You know?
Yeah, there was that sort of sense of I guess you could say competition, but it wasn't. It's not really competition. It's sort of just like, hey man, I went to all that effort to find this vinyl and create this sort of masterpiece or whatever, and I don't want you kind of like biting on it. But at the same time, I came in and started DJing in a realm of I don't care.
Yeah.
Have this vinyl.
Yeah.
Steal my music. You'll never play it as good as me, or
Yeah.
you won't play it in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same way that I'm going to mix this tune.
That's where the
like,
artistry comes into it almost,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, and
It's a
being
bit of-
individual.
There's a
and
bit of ego involved.
you're right.
with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But at the same time, man, like I felt back in that day that I was good enough to back that up, and of course, I've since humbled, but at the time, I was just like, man, you can do whatever you want. And this was around the time when DJ AM had worked with Serato and created this hidden tracks shortcut on Serato.
Yeah.
And you'd like go F11 or F10 or something, and it would hide all of your the names of the tracks in Serato.
Yeah. So if anyone was...
And it was called DJM mode because DJ AM had all of these like tracks, and he would mix and mash up so much that a lot of DJs would try and bite. They'd look over his shoulder, they'd check at his laptop and see what he was playing, and they were always biting on him. And so he had created this sort of like, dark mode almost, and just blanked out the things, so no one could see the tracks. Yeah, because a lot of times we would be at the club, and I'd go up to the DJ booth, and I'd have to like look at the vinyl spinning, and I'd be turning my head and catching like one sentence, one part, and then another, and I'd be turning my head. And
you'd just be like, "Hey, dude, can you give us the sleeve? Can you use the vinyl sleeve?"
Oh, you couldn't. No, you couldn't ask that, man. That's you know what I mean? Like, oh man, you couldn't ask that. That's so cheeky. But it was unless you knew someone who knew someone that could get it for you, or you knew the DJ or something like that, you could go up and do that. But man, like, I had it all the time, like playing something fresh, and then I'd have kids come up and they'd be like looking and checking it out.
Yeah. You could see, you could tell because you could see their head go.
So that was cool, that was a cool kind of like time. But since that sort of stopped, I had to look on the computer screen. Anyway, it was really hard to find all that music and that shit. So I would scour the internet for it, but if I couldn't find it, I'd have to do that recording. And that's when I learned more how to kind of cut, paste, manipulate, start edits too, because some of them are really long tracks. Yeah. Or I could create an extra beat at the start to sort of help with a bit of a transition, especially if I'm doing acapellas. If I'm doing a mashup between an acapella instrumental and acapella instrumental, it gave me that extra little bit of time. To then kind of swap it out, and without having to change the record. I'd have to give myself a maximum of 8 bars in the past to be able to kind of like let the acapella keep playing, take the instrumental off, get the next one on, make sure I knew where the speed was on the platter, and then drop the next instrumental. He'd be hearing 8 bars of an acapella, having to create the beat in your head. And then, but with Serato, man, I was able to like just go and drop the track in within 1 bar, 2 bar beats. So
I was watching you last night, mate. You were killing it.
Thanks, dude.
Acapellas and well, I don't know if they're acapellas, but they were like mashups. Live mashups.
Yeah, most
mashups.
Most of the stuff I do live. I never really recorded all of the mashup ideas that I had. I always.
It's funner to do it live, isn't it?
It's so much more fun.
It's so much more fun if you can. Like,
it allows me, like my reason behind that is it allowed me to change the idea mid set. If I'm like halfway through this beat and this acapella, and the audience isn't sort of vibing, or they kind of don't get the mashup, I can so easily just take out the acapella, let the beat play another beat into the next track, or I can take out the track. And I can drop something they might know.
I think I heard you doing that last night too. Like you played one track with an acapella, and then you changed the track.
I took the beat out.
You took the beat out, kept the acapella, and then put another one in. And because it's on the Serato and that, just like so quick, like you said, just
easy, man.
To jump on and change it.
And with visual cues, like I know it's sometimes whack watching a DJ just stare at their laptop, but it's handy for me to have the visual cue of being able to glance at the laptop, see where the waveform is, see the BPMs, and quickly match it. And it allows me to make the transitions a little more seamless. Whereas back in the day, it was very clunky, but still the idea was there. And they had respect for that clunkiness back then, because I was a very heavy-handed DJ. I wasn't like the most perfect sort of sound DJ. I wasn't a Gavin Boyd that would just be seamless and smooth as a poo sandwich, but
Yep.
I'd be a little more clunky, but you could see me actually DJing, like real DJing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, last night doing those sort of moods is because like I could see the crowd, their reactions, and I knew that okay, look, I've just played a bit of an underground track or something they might not know, but something they might, and I got to kind of like do this. I got to send them to the bar. I've got to change up, and that's doing it live allows me to do that. Whereas if you've pre-mashed up and you're playing this like pre-produced thing, you're stuck. You're stuck there.
That's
like,
it. You got no
I'm
option.
in the mix. And then like the only way to get out of it is like mix another tune, but then you're mixing basically 3 layers together.
Yeah.
The new tune coming in, the and the mashup, which is 2 songs anyway.
Yeah.
So it's it's become a real exciting time with DJing. Not become, it has been, I think, the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because of that the creativity that Serato has
the
allowed
flexibility.
us.
Yeah.
You know,
See, I've always been a Tractor guy, and it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Serato and Tractor, it's the same stuff.
Same thing that the RZA thinks that he invented, but it is basically the same kind of algorithm. You know, it's like you've got your control tone, and it picks up on the ones and zeros. For those out there that don't know how digital DJing works, you've got your control tone. That sends
because you used to have
information to the box or the internals of a mixer,
yeah,
and then your computer that talks to your computer. Your computer picks up on the ones and zeros and transforms it into knowing where on the track it is, back to the mixer, out to the audience. 101.
101. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
good beer.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, look, I'm bloody fucking blasting off here.
They're great, man.
Just jibber jabbing away.
Yeah, they're real good.
I haven't even had a chance for you to get to your questions yet, have I?
Oh, I don't have questions. I don't prepare questions.
Okay, cool.
We just have a chat.
That's what I like.
There's stuff that I want to know though, and I want to know about your cut and cook sets.
Oh,
and how you started that.
Oh, man.
And actually, I was a bit like someone said to me last night, "Oh, you've got Cutloose coming on." I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're doing a video?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You should have cooked something while we were doing the podcast.
Dude,
that would have been. We could have had a little cooker here and stuff.
We got some snacks.
Well, there's snacks. We got snacks.
We got snacks. This is great.
I don't know what you can cook up.
Man. All right, we got something. We'll try and like flip the script. We might marinate some of these almonds. In the beer.
But tell us about how that started, because like this is how I know you from blah 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 and the Addicts Crew sort of festival.
Yep.
I love that video where you made the pumpkin risotto at one of our events.
That was the second one I ever did.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
The first one was like this manky ass little kind of pizza that I made. Which was the starting of it all.
Yeah.
And then the pumpkin risotto was the second.
Yeah.
And I guess to answer that question, how did it start? Was I've always been into food.
Yeah.
Love food. I've always mixed my sauces at home.
Yeah.
I grew up with mum always saying, just try it. And I just got a flavour palette pretty early on, you know. One day I was practicing for the blah, blah, blah festival because Sang gave me a 15-minute or half-hour set. Right?
Half-hour set, yeah.
Half-hour set.
Shout out Sang, by the way.
Yes, shout out, man.
He's over in San Fran, I think, still. Or he's over in the States, I know that.
He is Mr. San Fran right now, is he?
Yeah, is he?
So I he gave me that half-hour set. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then while I was practicing the routines for it, I'm thinking half an hour, oh, man, I could do just a power set, right?
Yeah.
Because I did a few of those at festivals before that, like at Parklife and Good Vibrations and other festivals and stuff that I'd played at. Side rooms of Big Day Out, and I've had little hour or half-hour power sets, and I've just smashed it like boom, boom, boom,
bang,
one
bang,
after
bang,
the other.
track.
Yeah,
heavy drops, like all that kind of stuff.
More so just like lots of quick fun transitions and blending and mashups, like I was talking about, right?
So you were playing like I remember it was like glitch hop and like hip hoppy sort of vibes back then.
Back then, like in 2008, I was really into my like glitch hop.
Yeah.
And I love.
I always remember
glitch
you
mob,
as playing heaps of glitch hop and that kind of like
Beretta,
like vibes.
Yeah, man, Beretta. Even early Cohen sound.
Cohen sound. Fuck, I forgot about
Tipper.
that.
Tipper was like, I feel as though Tipper's like one of the godfathers of glitch hop and trip hop, because he's just his production is just so pleasing and so well crafted, and the sound,
Yeah.
all the intricate little details. He's hands down, I think, one of the greatest producers of all time.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, I was really into that sort of vibe because it was coming off the back of course, my hip hop, hip hop and rock and kind of background.
Yeah.
And so that I was really into, and I was putting together the set for blah 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 2007.
Yep.
And I was at home practicing because I was living at home at the time. I'd
Yeah.
actually, without going into detail, other things happened in my life, and I was like, I moved back home with mum and dad for that interim, before I moved out.
Yeah.
And I was practicing the set, and mum came home after going out shopping, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Trent, come into the kitchen. I bought some stuff." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm busy, mum, just practicing the set." And she's like,
Busy, mum.
"Okay, whatever." Yeah, it was a bit like that. I was like, "Not now, mum. Not ready." God. And I was like, okay, so I came out, and she's like, I bought this little pizza oven thing, and it looks like one of your turntables. And I sat there and I was like, God damn it, mum. You're fucking 100% right. That looks
You're
like one of my
onto something
turntables right there.
You're onto something.
I was just a light bulb just flickered. I was just like, yeah, I got a half. Oh, that's right. She goes, and it cooks a pizza in 5 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I've got 30 minutes. I can cook. If I can do prep and just my mind just started flicking.
Straight, you had that light bulb moment.
It was just clicking away, and light bulb, and I was just like, okay, I can sit this right next to the turntables. I can prep the ingredients. I've got 30 minutes. I can do 4 pizzas. In the end, I did 2 pizzas because it took me 10 minutes to prep each ingredient, cook a pizza, then prep the next pizza, and then cook that one at the end. Yeah. So that was my time schedule, and I because I don't really do things half-assed, I was like, okay, I've got to chop the ingredients, I've got to grate the cheese, I've got to mix the sauce, and I just went too much. But it was an experience. So then I sang a message. I said, dude, how do you feel about me cooking for that half-hour DJ set? He's just like,
how do you feel about me? That would have been hilarious.
I can't remember his reaction, but I reckon he was like, I can't remember exactly his reaction, but I do remember it being pretty like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, dude.
Yeah, man. It's your set.
But I think he filtered out a few other replies before that, like going, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, dude, what are you doing?
What are you talking about? Like, okay, well, you are cut loose. You are pretty crazy. All right, I'll go with it, whatever. Just don't burn the tent down for me, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did it, and I burnt one of the pizzas, and there was smoke bellowing out of the little machine, and no one was standing up close at the front of my set. I played earlier in the day. Everyone was standing at the back of the tent watching my set because they were like, what's going on? No one got it, man. They were just like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And I did the set. Even the stage manager at the time, who's a really close friend of mine, Rolando, Roller D. Big shout out, Roller D. He was into DJing the same time I was.
Yeah.
We connected, bonded over our love of just all genres and playing some weird shit.
Yeah.
That whole kind of Avalanche sound, and because he's best mates with James Dela Cruz from the Avalanches, and he's from Melbourne. So, that little connection, and we just sort of bonded over that. So anyway, he was stage managing that stage at the time, and he was like, he was stressing out. No, he knew I was okay, but he was just like, dude, are you sure you want to do this?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Anyway, I did it.
Reconsider your life, mate.
And at the time, everyone was stressed out and like, what the fuck just happened? But during the year, people wouldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
People were like, holy shit, man. Like, it was... People were just like, I've never seen anything like that. This was crazy. People, and it became this kind of urban myth over the year. And then Sang contacted me like 3/4 of the way through the year before the next one and said, hey, dude, we'd love to have you back. Do you want to do that little cooking thing again?
Yeah, do you want to do that little cooking thing? Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's funny you should say that. I actually have been working on this.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes,
I've put more effort in.
I had crafted the idea, and I'd worked on how I can kind of work it with the set, tunes, mixing, cooking, or everything like that. I practiced at home, and I was like, yeah, cool, let's do this. And then he's like, all right, man, like we're gonna put you on here at this time. We're gonna make a thing of it, and whatever. And he's like, do you have a name for it? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Yeah, yes.
It's so cheesy, and I was
Yeah.
just like, it's called Cut and Cook.
But that works so well because your name was already Cutloose.
It was a no-brainer. It
easy,
wasn't
yeah.
that difficult. It was like I sat down and I was just like, cooking, I'm cutting, cut and cook.
Well, that's easy. Yeah,
Done.
done. Yeah.
See the video, I can see my reaction then. Everyone else listening
Yeah.
on the podcast is like, why did you have that pause?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was.
I love that video though of the pumpkin risotto one.
Dude.
Like just that video, and it's.
I edited that video.
Oh, you did that
Yeah.
in Ableton?
Yep, did it all
There
in
you go,
Ableton.
there you go.
And yeah, shout outs to me. Just you jump onto my YouTube channel, I guess.
Yeah, I'll link it. I'll
link
link
in
it
the
in show
description.
notes. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Is that where it will go?
We can link it.
Or up here.
I don't know. I don't know YouTube stuff yet. We'll figure it out.
We're learning, man.
we'll
We're
get
learning.
it there. We'll get it there.
I think I'll come in here and just edit the video with you. We'll
Yeah,
just,
sure.
hang out and do it again.
Yeah,
have
yeah.
some more beers. Maybe
That's
record
it.
another podcast of us editing the video. Slow down, Trent. Told you, man. I don't do things like half-assed
not
here.
in halves. But next time we'll make sure we cook. We'll edit and cook something. Yeah, that sounds good.
On to the next whack-a-changy.
Yeah, get into it. Yeah, that's cool
I just
because
love this sound. Hold on.
that video, people who have never seen you do a cut and cook set before, like it's not just cutting and doing stuff between songs. It's like performing. It's a performance of cooking. Like you
Well, that was the way that
I remember the risotto, stirring the pan and dropping it in, and there's so much more to it. It's another level of performance.
Yeah. That's exactly the frame of mind that I had.
Yeah.
Going into it, was I'm going to do the. I'm not just going to put on something and then start doing some chopping. I'm not going to just play a tune and do this. Like, I've got to create. Like, I've got to adapt my turntablism and the way that I perform because, if people listening to this podcast that have known me DJing for a long time, they know that I really get into the music. I really go. That's why I called myself Cutloose because I would literally.
Cut loose.
Thanks for finishing that. It made it
Finishing-
sound so much better. You finishing that sentence
sentences.
than me because it would just be so just cheesy. Anyway, so I was just like, that's just the way I did it. I love music so much. It's such an extreme passion for me, and there's just each song has its own life force.
Yeah.
So when I'm DJing, going from one song to the next, I'm feeling each one, and that was kind of like my vibe. And so I had to kind of incorporate it in that same way.
Yeah.
I had to kind of like smash it out pretty much. And so that's why I was like, all right, if I've got this much time in a song, I've got enough time to chop that. Once I've finished chopping that, I don't have to put that in the pan until another 10 minutes. So that gives me like maybe a 10-minute routine.
Yeah.
But in between that routine, I want to maybe throw in a food sample that then segues into the next. So I was just like practicing and thinking about all these different
So
ones.
did you planned these sets then, like?
Oh
with
yeah, you
songs
have to.
and stuff. You
Yeah,
have to.
I
Yeah,
have to plan that shit, man. Like down,
that's
down
what I
to
thought,
like
yeah.
knowing that. I've gotten to a point now where I just kind of like plan a playlist, but I was planning the mixes and the specific times and the cue points and everything too.
Yeah.
And this was around the time that I'd gotten rid of my you'll see it on the video. I got rid of my MPD, the M Audio MPD, and I'd been getting into these MIDI fighters.
Yeah.
From
the MIDI fighter where you used to make it yourself.
Yeah.
Like the 4x4.
Yeah, man.
My mate had one of them. They're so cool.
Dude, amazing. And it was
Build
just
your own
so
MIDI
tiny
controller,
because this is around the time that I was trying to incorporate some type of MIDI controller in a turntable sense.
Yeah.
Like I wanted it in the mixer like the S9 is now and the Reigns, but this was like 10 years ago before they could even get this.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how can I find a little MIDI controller that could fit close? And it's a pretty unique setup that I had. And I had, like, starting from left to right, I had a turntable, my Rain 56 mixer, and then the tiny little MIDI fighter, which was a small little kind of trinket-sized box, and then the second turntable. And I wanted it there so that way I could be working the mixer and scratching and then just move my hand over and quickly do that, and I could, trigger the pads and I can do a little routine. This was also around the time there was only 4 cue point spots on Serato.
Yeah,
So
yeah, back in the day.
L or 5, I think it was. Yeah, and it was like you couldn't get too expressive. You needed a cue point to start the track, a cue point on, say, a good drop, and then you could maybe fit in a kick and a snare.
Yeah.
And so then, and a sample or something, and it was anyway. So so it's a bit of a unique setup. It's pretty cool, and I can't remember what we're talking about.
You set up
The
your
setup,
gig.
no, beforehand, how I piece this shit together. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
after saying kind of like asked me to do it again, I was like, dude, I've already fucking sorted this shit out.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a name for it. I got this. Let's really market it. Let's really punch it. Blah blah blah. And he's just like, yeah, we could do this. And then his little kind of entrepreneurial mind started ticking in because he's an engineer. He's like, a businessman.
He's a
Like
smart man.
he
He's a
started
smart
that whole kind of blah blah blah
He
festival.
taught me a lot of what I know.
Be a business.
Yeah.
And so respect to that. So he teed up a few kind of sponsorships and got like a few things involved to kind of take it to that next level. But before we got to that stage, I did this 2008 performance and man, it blew up. Everybody still talks about it, man. It's just like, man, it was so crazy because most people were fucking off their face, man.
Yeah,
You watch the video, people are in the front just like, and there was just like
all you people out
just,
there
oh,
who went
man.
to Hidden yesterday, imagine if the DJ who was playing was cooking food at the same time,
Well-
and you get to eat it at the end. You get to eat it at the end.
Yeah, that's the best part.
He gives
of
it
the whole
out,
show.
like, and everyone's like, "Oh, the best part of that video is at the end where everyone's like, oh yes, pumpkin risotto, yum."
And it actually turned out all right. That's the
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like, it's not just some slop put together. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, like what is some like turntable grit going to be in here or
Yeah.
anything? No, it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes good.
'Cause
Yeah.
One thing I know is flavors, and
Yeah.
the reason why I love cooking so much is because it is quite similar to DJing.
Yeah.
Blending the flavors,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that you have all the elements and you blend it together to find the right balance. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I've got the tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
But that's they're the 4 elements of flavor.
Oh, okay. What are they
And
there?
so we've got sweet, we've got spicy, we've got salty and savory.
Yeah,
Or
nice.
sour.
Yeah, yeah.
So sour, sweet, salty, spicy. And
Yeah.
you balance all of those and you got a dish.
Yeah.
That's all you have to remember, man, when you're cooking. And, entertaining that special guy or girl and you just balance those flavors, man.
Yeah.
You can make anything. Even if it's just you, like, frying up some chips. The seasoning you put on the chips or the sauce that you use, balance that, man, and you'll be like...
I love cooking, man. You're talking to my soul right
yeah,
now.
man, that's how it works.
Do you have a signature dish or
There it
something that
is.
you're? Yeah, that's the question. Have anything that you're
Not really.
particular- No, yeah.
Not really. I just find I make my own when I'm cooking anything. I'll just turn it into my own. Or
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
a little-
yeah.
I'll add my own signature. I guess I don't have this might sound pretty corny, but I guess I don't have a signature dish. I've just got a signature flavor that I add to those dishes.
Okay, yeah.
Which makes it a bit of a signature.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and that's just bold flavors. Like whatever I'm cooking, whether it be something really sort of streetwise, like tacos or burgers,
Yeah, yeah.
or something really kind of intricate, like a sous vide salmon or some kind of like crazy dish that has just got lots of elements and build qualities to it.
Yeah.
Or whether it be like a fucking 24-hour cooked ramen.
Yeah.
All the flavors are bold. And
Yeah.
they're like, you're going to taste that flavor.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what you're eating. I like people to know like they're eating that. Just
Yeah.
like when I'm DJing.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, just like when I'm DJing, I want everybody to feel each track I drop and each
Yeah.
transition. Go, this is it, banging it in now to this, now to that. Not really, was never really a subtle DJ. And
Yeah.
midway through my career, I wanted, like, that's who I was. I didn't really sort of like accept that,
Yeah.
that I was that type of DJ. I
Yeah.
tried to create a little bit more subtlety in my sets, and which is great, and it helped me grow as a DJ, professionally and personally. But it wasn't until I was true to myself and said,
Yeah.
Trent, you're not that subtle DJ.
That's
You're
not you.
You're not a minimal house DJ, even though you love minimal house tunes.
Yeah.
Just keep throwing in those minimal house tunes with your hip hop sets, or
Yeah.
with your like rock sets, or with your kind of like breaks and drum and bass sets or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I've played so many genres that and I love so many genres that I could never pick one, and that's why I just
It's
became
tough, isn't
such
it?
a mashup.
And I
DJ.
think that's something that once you've been around for a while, it's sort of it's so hard. Like I asked some of the boys in last week on the podcast, I said, "Oh, like who's your influences or it's like people you're loving at the moment and stuff?" And they're just like, "Too hard, man. That's too hard to answer." Once
too
you've
hard
been around
basket.
for long enough and there's so many
Yeah.
different things that you've learned, they're like, I don't know what to say. Like I don't really
I
have
guess,
one.
yeah, I guess that to sort of try and answer that question best as possible, rather than give her like, oh, I can't answer that,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even when you say to somebody, oh, what's your favorite type of genre, and they're like, oh, I listen to everything. I'm like,
Do you really
no,
though?
no, you don't. I bet I could within 3 songs play you a track that you'll go, ooh, what the fuck is this? Or this is
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I bet you, I guarantee you. So reevaluate your I listen to everything kind
Yeah.
of comment, like a lot of people say.
I like to say I appreciate everything.
Appreciate
I
everything.
appreciate all
100%.
music.
That's a
Yeah.
really good point, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Mm.
But nah, listening to everything. It's so I try and kind of like I think about that in the form of inspiration and favorites, right? So I would then look back and go, right, who's some of my inspirations? Everybody inspires me, man. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
down to like even down to fucking like Britney Spears.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
like, dude, she is an inspiration with like some of her whack shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
her phases of life that she's gone through and
Yeah,
then come
yeah.
back out the other side, whatever. But, it's not one of my faves. I wouldn't fucking like that. I would
Yeah,
not
yeah.
listen to that at home, like, drinking a beer at home, chilling. No.
No,
But
it's not your first go-to.
she inspires a lot of other people, a lot of
Yeah.
other ways, and also it's like especially with a couple of her tracks. Like I mix in a couple of her songs because of like say a lyric that she used or the sample that was there and
Yeah.
whatever mashing up. But for me, it's more so like an inspiration is the artists that really took me to that next level.
Yeah.
Really inspired me to kind of like go, all right, I'm going to take it to this next level now.
Yeah.
And my number one who really just made me realize what I was doing was the right path and inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing is Mixmaster Mike.
Oh yeah. I mean, how can
He-
you? Yeah.
I'm
What
getting
can you?
kind of goosebumps
What
now.
can you say about
Like, look
that?
at those
Like,
goosies, look at them.
yeah.
He inspired me to be the type of DJ I am now, to keep doing what I was doing.
Yep.
I met him at a festival. It might have been Park Life in the cultural forecourt of South Bank.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
How good was that cultural forecourt for events?
sick.
Like there's no festivals or anything there. Like
What do you got?
remember
Noodle Festival?
we had blah 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 there one year, and like it's on the river, like just
Dude, I
amazing.
filmed one of the Blah Blah festivals. So the
Yeah.
third year I did the Blah 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 festival.
Yeah.
We recorded a promo video on that like South Bank Boulevard thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and I did a noodle dish. The promo video.
I think that was the one where I was working at Blah.
Oh, was that? Yeah.
I remember I didn't see your set there, but I definitely had to sort out your gas and shit, or the SDS,
You
MSDS.
did, yes,
I'm like,
dude.
dude, what have you got? I had to I remember messaging going, what have you got? I got to do all the OHS
Totally
stuff.
forgot about that.
I need
Holy
to
shit.
I need to get. What have you
Well,
like? What
that's
do you
because
bring
it went to that next
It was
level,
just
didn't it?
gas at that stage. Yeah, yeah.
But it went to that next level, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Of OH&S and
Yeah.
having your ramp ready and everything like that with the licensing.
Yeah.
That was the year, man. That was just like that was when Sang got a few of the sponsorships, ScanPan, and someone else I can't remember.
What, Scampan? Jeez, get in there.
Yeah, man, it was good. He teed it
Sang
all
knows
up.
his stuff, eh? He'll always find a way to make it work.
He
Like,
did, and he teed it up. So basically, he was like, "All right, let's get a promo video going," because that was the part of the thing. It was like, "All right, if you help sponsor, we're going to get you a video of him using this equipment and doing that." So we did a promo video on in South Bank, and I remember like, man, big shout outs to Maelstrom. Do you remember that producer?
I do remember that producer.
Guys, look up
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom. He is an amazing producer from I'd like to say maybe Germany or France or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude, but it was a long time ago I met you. But your music is an amazing house producer and breaks.
Yeah.
It's like house breaks, very sort of minimal, similar to sort of Matthew Herbert or Written. like
Yeah.
now times.
Yeah.
Maelstrom was producing just some cool shit, man.
Yeah.
Like real kind of intricate little kind of sounds and details and shit,
Yeah.
but with like a dope kind of house beat behind it with a bit of a skip, and it was around that time where House Breaks was coming in. So it was a house song, but it had this percussion behind it that was like real kind of like breaky.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was there the day that we filmed.
Yeah.
And man, that's another one that's on my YouTube channel.
Yep, so you've got that one there too.
Yeah.
We'll link all the YouTube channel stuff so that you can...
The old shit.
Yeah. Do you still post stuff on your YouTube channel at all? Or
Not
it's just
too much
all your
anymore.
old stuff, yeah.
Man, Instagram's taken over.
Yeah.
So like if I'm posting video content, I'm on Instagram.
Mm.
My Insta stories is where it's at.
Yeah.
Like I get the most traction.
That's not there forever though. That's
no, it
the
isn't.
thing.
It's like you got to follow me. If you want to know what I'm doing each day, because I'm doing some crazy shit. I got a busy fucking life, but that's my vehicle. So I have to try and learn how to kind of like adapt that to a bigger video. And then I can update YouTube. But the traction isn't going through YouTube anymore because YouTube's more of a destination to watch a big video or, maybe like you treat it more like a TV channel.
Yeah.
People have their stations that they're all plugged into, They've got their DJ City station. They've got their Mojack's thing with DJ City.
Why can't there be a Cutloose station then?
Well, there is. But
there is.
I don't update it much.
It's just not very current. Yeah.
There's also those channels that have multiple users. So you got like Munchies and stuff for food channels.
Yeah.
Munchies is the headliner. But then you've got underneath that, you've got all these other little shows and offshoots and people doing stuff. You've got like Ida, you've got Bon Appetit, all of those sort of food channels. And then there's like all these music channels as well that have the main headline, and then they've got like all these other channels off it. It was just like American cable TV back in the day.
Yeah.
We only had like 5 stations here in Australia, but back in the day, and still to this day, you have those smaller channels that come off that one channel. Like now you've got ABC and they've got like 4 channels.
Yeah.
You've got 9 and they've got 3. So it's sort of like that. So
similar vibe, yeah.
Yeah, so man, I've soon realized like I can't compete with those big dogs.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've only got, I think, fucking 200 subscribers or some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not too much of a fuss, but I get more traction and more excitement and fun posting my Instagram stories and whatnot. And now that you've got the Instagram
TV,
IGTV, like that IGTV, that's great.
I hate that it's the portrait mode and not landscape. Like
you can post landscape. You just have to turn your phone and then it fills out the screen.
It's still not really
still not perfect, man. Still clunky.
It's still not designed for it yet. They need to work on that.
But
I suppose that's most of Instagram's thing, though. It's like most of it is that.
It was capturing that because that's how people held their phone.
Yeah.
So they were.
Yeah, they're working to how people use it.
It was all about just capturing content. Like Gary Vee talks about it all the time, man. It's not about trying to make it look fancy or perfect or schmick. It's just content. Content.
Yeah.
Just record what you're doing or whatever you're passionate about.
People want to know that stuff. Like...
People are natural voyeurs, right?
Yeah.
So they're naturally going to want to just like tune in and be like, oh, what are they doing? Look how many...
What's he doing?
How many conversations have you had with someone and they go, man, I love people watching.
Yeah, people watching, so good.
That's because we naturally want to see what someone else is doing because we're constantly looking in. So having that outward look is really kind of like important for us as a humanity to kind of like grow and be together and sort of figure out what the hell's going on. Because that's pretty much all we're doing.
Yeah.
All of us are just floating through life trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And no one really knows the answer to that.
No. Until you figure out what you want to do and what you want going on. That's the only way.
Maybe that is the answer.
That is the answer.
That's what I think it is too. I've been on a podcast, another person's podcast, and they right at the end said, "What's the meaning of life?" or whatever. And I said, I think it's about finding what you love doing and figuring out how to do more of that. How do you do more of what you love to do?
100%, man.
But you got to find it first.
You listen to the greats. You listen to like the all of the greats that have given advice over the years, and the first one that comes to mind is the late great Kobe Bryant, and that is just like find what you love doing and do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And and it's echoed throughout all of these other great speakers like Gary Vee recently. He's constantly just talking about doing what you love doing and finding out what you and make it. We have the greatest fucking access and device right now.
Yeah.
That you can
Incredible.
do anything. You've got the internet in your pocket. I love it when Gary says that. He's like, man, you've got the internet
You got
in
the
your
internet
pocket.
in your pocket.
You do, man. It's fucking crazy. You don't think
It's so hectic, and
so you could just create whatever you want, and you can
do everything on your phone now.
If you want to, like, if you want to fucking make doll clothes or like clothes for dogs and little bow ties for dogs for the rest of your life because you love that so much, fuck, you can do that. You've got so many. You got TikTok and Instagram
you could be successful
and
doing
Facebook
that.
and
You
be
could
successful.
make a shitload of money doing that.
Man,
like, people will buy that stuff.
You know how we were talking about before, how you talk to people and they go, man, what do you love doing? Man, I love people watching. You could fucking make a career out of people watching.
Yeah.
If you somehow figure out how to monetize that and get viewers and do all that shit, man, you could totally get that.
Yeah.
You know, like we're in such a crazy age. I mean, that's like I'm still trying to figure out how
everyone's figuring it out, aren't they?
How I can
that's the great challenge.
Create this love of mine, which is cooking and DJing, and actually do it for the rest of my life, just as that, right? So I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's definitely in this day and age has helped me kind of figure out, okay, I think I now know how to do it.
Yeah.
For me, it's finding the time.
Yeah. That's it, hey, time.
So
just not enough time.
No, man. It's like that Justin Timberlake movie.
What movie's that?
Have you seen that before?
Which one?
Oh shit! It's this fucking time movie where like you have a certain amount of time and you can trade time and you can buy more time.
I think I've seen that.
Or get less time
until when you die. Like But so if you're super rich, you can buy heaps of time and live for ages.
Yeah. But if you're not, and then you can trade time too. It's fucking crazy because that was quite a fucking. I actually thought it was a pretty cool movie, man. Like Justin is not a shit actor. He's got good comedic timing.
Yeah.
He's a performer. He's an artist. He's gold, man. I respect that cat.
Yeah.
And I respect that cat. Man, I sounded like such a douchebag, man.
Just all the cliche sayings today.
So, you know, like that's the thing, time, man. It's like, man, I love a little bit more time to do that.
Yeah.
But I've learned that you can create your own time. You create your own reality. You create your own time. So you've just got to figure out how to do that better. You know?
And I think there's always ways you can be more efficient and do things quicker, like, you know, and figure out how to get it done.
If you want to,
and that's what it's about.
If you want to do it, you do that hustle. Like Gary Vee talks about it, and he's like, man, what do you do right now? What's your day job? Oh, blah, 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 blah. All right, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to start a peanut company because I love peanuts. It's like, then do that. How much time do you work on that peanut company outside of your normal business? It's like, I usually get home, work like 2 hours, work 4.
Yeah.
Get up in the morning, work another 4. That's 8 hours you've just done.
Yeah.
2 4-hour blocks, start and end of the day, and then you go to your work during the day. Because that work during the day is just you getting paid.
Yeah.
You can do that job.
Yeah.
But it's that before and after hours.
Yeah.
There's always time. And then like, I'm not going to get much sleep. Well, then you got to sacrifice. You've got to figure out how to maybe work on your nutrition and your food balance to then be able to operate on 3 hours sleep or 4 hours sleep. You can do it.
Yeah.
And then if you work that hard, you can then take a whole day off to rest and to recuperate that extra work that you are doing and go for it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm
just working. I see it all the time and
I'm pushing it, man. Because and I've had days where I've gotten sick. Because I'm exhausted.
Too much.
And I have to kind of go, okay, Trent, man, just chill. But I'm so passionate about it and I just want to get it done. And I know that it's going to create a future for me to be able to then get back into production. Because I've had a big kind of production slump.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call it a slump. I'd call it just a
break.
A break because I've never had a slump of not being able to produce.
Yeah.
Always got so many ideas. My phone, once again, back to the internet on the pocket, my memos on my phone are just full of ideas of me just like, you know, humming a melody and doing a beatbox.
It's so
and
valuable
I
to
can't
do.
wait to create this. I'm working really hard right now on this other project to then create the time to then be able to go, man, I can now go back through all of those melodies and I can kind of start creating some cool shit.
Yeah.
So, man, you can always figure out how to create it. You know?
Yeah.
So to all those people that are just like, man, don't have any time. It's just like,
It's
man,
bullshit.
you can create
It's
that
bullshit.
time.
It's just
like-
an excuse.
It is
People
an
are just
excuse.
making excuses for
They
like,
do, man,
I've
like-
done home. Like,
What was your last excuse? Can you remember? Like last time you kind of had a bit of an excuse and went, shit, you know.
probably pretty recent. You know, like there's always an excuse. Probably last night, actually. I don't know. I would have told someone at some stage that I needed to leave for something, and
But
was
you did.
actually leaving for a different reason.
Oh, really?
You know?
Well, but at the same time, you did have an excuse. You had to leave. You couldn't stay out too late because you know,
That's right. And to
we
be
were
honest,
drinking beers in the morning.
I did stay out too late as well.
Dude,
I
we
went to the
both did.
Met. I went to the Met, and I was like, because I don't go to the Met. Like, you know, it's
That's
because,
what everybody says when they go to the Met.
I know, but the reason, yeah, the reason, because I was like, oh, everyone's gonna be out. I'm out. I'll go say hello. Like, and then like I got there, and I was just like, oh, there's so many people here like, that I know. You know, that you want to talk like what happened to you at Mr. Mister. There's so many people there that you just, oh, hey, how
That's
you
the nature
going?
of our business.
You have a chat. You go see someone else. It's like, it's
Man,
just,
that's the nature of our business, bro. It's like
yeah,
a lot of people got to understand that that's where we do half our work.
Yeah.
And like, you know, our meetings, our unscheduled meetings,
yeah,
you know,
unscheduled meetings.
going
yeah,
to clubs, knowing that the promoter's there, or the club owner's there, and hanging out with the DJ, and then them introducing you to that promoter,
friend
friend
kind
of
of
friend,
thing,
and then you
yeah.
chat to the promoter, it's like bands, blah blah blah, and that's how you get gigs. That's how I got gigs in LA when I lived there. It
Yeah.
was like I could not even get a gig to save my life if it was emailing a promoter or contacting them. It was
Yeah.
like they
Face
had
to
to see
face,
you
yeah.
out. So one of the bigger promoters in town that was doing like a bunch of places that he was booking the Highland on Highland, and that was like one of the bigger clubs right near the Chinese Theatre.
Yeah.
You know, he was doing lots of sort of like cool pool parties and shit like that. Anyway, the only way I got those gigs was by going out and seeing him.
Yeah.
And the first time I got introduced to him, it was like through a friend, DJ Seraphin. Shout out to Seraphin,
Yeah.
one of the fucking greatest party rocking DJs in
Yeah.
the world, my opinion.
From
And,
LA?
yeah, man.
Lives
yeah.
there?
Yeah, he's
Born and
LA.
bred?
And he his actual heritage, he has an Asian heritage, like Philippine or anything. I can't really remember. Sorry, man. But he lived in LA,
Yeah.
LA boy, and he's amazing, and he introduced me to like some peeps down there. you know?
Yeah.
I got to meet Lady Shah. I got to meet Brother L. These are like friends for life now.
Yeah.
I live
Yeah.
there, and at the time they were like big names in the and still are big names in the music industry there and DJing scene.
Yeah.
Right? And this is around the time when Banana Split Sundays was going fucking mental. This
Yeah.
is DJ AM. This is Steve Aoki. This is
Yeah.
like the height of that era. This
When
is
that was starting. So what years you
2008,
took it?
2008,
Oh,
2009,
mate, that's
2010.
when, like Dim Mac and all, all that kind of
Huge,
stuff
man.
was popping
this
off.
is like all the Bloghouse. So I was like DJing a lot of Bloghouse
yes.
parties.
Yes.
A lot of Bloghouse parties, all the indie Ed Banger shit, like all these
Yeah.
huge, like I think one of the best parties I played was like Tilt. I think Tilt was the name of the blog, and it
Yeah.
was just dope shit, man. Like all of those dope remixes and
Yeah.
indie sort of electro bangers.
Yeah. These days, people don't, like, that's such a, for anyone who was around and going out and DJing and in that scene, it was just something else, eh?
Dude,
It was
another
something
beast,
else.
man. It was.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I was in LA doing connecting with these people, but I couldn't get a gig.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I saw a few promoters and a few other DJs out and about a bit more.
Yeah.
I would see them out, and they'd be like, "Oh, and I'd get introduced and be like, "Oh, hey, Trent, whatever." The next time I'd see them out, they'd be like, "Wait, who are you again, man?" Like, "Oh yeah, Trent. Oh, Cutloose. Oh, you're that Aussie dude. Yeah, cool, cool. Okay."
Because you're on the
And then
radar
ignore-
then.
Yeah,
You're on the radar.
Then they'll ignore you again, and then it's not until they see you at the third or fourth party that they're like, "Hey, man, I got this gig coming up, man. It'd be really cool. I need a fill-in DJ, or I need this, and you should come and play that." Because there was the third and fourth meeting that I was also going to these house parties or going to these
after
like little
parties or
clubs and
whatever.
after
Yeah,
parties
yeah.
and stuff, because the clubs would close at 2 in LA.
Oh, yeah.
And jumping on the decks with Seraphin or with Lady Shah and actually
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
hanging
at-
out.
At
And
the house party.
also, like I'm best mates with Chanel, who's a artist, producer, performer here in Australia, and he has a house over in LA, and I stayed with him for a bit and went to parties with him as well.
Yeah.
So I got to meet other people, industries through that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was also DJing with him as his DJ when he was in LA performing because he was touring tracks and his album and shit.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Long story short, right?
Yeah.
And so he would introduce me to people too. And it wasn't until they saw me for those third and fourth times that they realized, okay, this kid's around here for good. Like he's hanging out for a while now.
Yeah.
He's not sort of like
not
messing
just popping
around.
in.
He's not just popping in and trying to get a quick gig.
Yeah.
That's also when I met the Mike B, who was DJing this like little side room club on Santa Monica Boulevard. Can't remember the name of the club, but dude, that was such a dope little room, very small, and got a gig from him. It was like a Tuesday night gig.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was banging. Dude, it was
Yeah.
like every night of the
Tuesday
week.
night, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Tuesday night, man.
Yeah.
And I want to get that shit started again, man. I was just talking last night to Steve Lynn,
Yeah.
Spender C, and I was like, dude,
Spender.
I wanna-
Shout out Spender.
shut up. I not shut out, not shut up. I really want to get something going like on a Tuesday or Wednesday night again.
Yeah.
Like something cool, like what Lickett used to do, at Middle Bar back in the day. And man, it's just something cool. It doesn't have to go late. It could be like from 8 till midnight.
Yeah.
And I just want to do another little cool party like that and just play some dope shit. It doesn't have to be the same fucking regurgitated crap on the weekends that we sometimes have to play.
Yeah.
Or feel as though we have to play. And yeah, because there's a lot of good music out there. It's harder to find
There's
because
too
there's
much good
too
music.
much.
There's too much music.
It's harder
in
to
general.
filter.
Yeah.
But man, there's some dope shit, and
Yeah.
I want some DJs to express themselves and feel like they can play it. I want to get like some of the popular DJs that play all that kind of like R&B and popular pop tunes. I want to get them in and go, dude, play me the shit that you don't get to play on your playlist.
Yeah.
Play me those tracks that you have in your recent folder that isn't the new Chris Brown or the new fucking.
Well, have you heard of Interval?
Travis Scott or something? What?
Interval?
What?
Interval?
Interval?
Yeah. So they're
no.
doing stuff on like a Tuesday, Wednesday night. I think it's at the Milk Bar, and it's like for DJs to just come and play. And again, it's like what you said. It's not doesn't go real late.
Cool.
And it's just like people coming and playing whatever music, practicing.
Is it
And
a bit of a party too, or?
yeah, well, it's a bit more of like a at this stage, it's more of like a producer DJ sort of thing. Like everyone goes and like hangs out during the week, sort of thing. I think. I haven't been to one yet, but yeah, that's basically a similar vibe to what you're saying. It's
Cool.
like come and play, and it's like short sets, half hour, whatever, like a few people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool concept. Need to get down to one. Maybe
That
maybe-
sounds dope.
Maybe we should go check it out one
Maybe
time.
we should turn it into a bit more of a party rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
like an up their own ass kind of like producers like
Yeah, it's
thing.
just. I think it's just because they're not.
I'm joking.
It's
That
just
was rude, but you know what I mean. Like, just it kind of.
I just think
want it
it's
to
not
be-
real big yet. I think it's just they've only just started it and
okay.
they're building it.
Okay,
kind
cool.
of thing,
That's
yeah.
exciting then, because then it has like it has
But all the
heaps of
DJs
directions.
and it's like you said, it's DJs who are maybe play more commercial stuff. Usually,
They get to play.
they get to play whatever
the
they
shit
want.
that they don't normally get to play.
Yeah,
that they
I think
love
they do
and
food
listen to.
there. Hey, mate, might be able
Holy
to,
shit!
might be able to.
The planets are aligning.
Everything's aligning.
That's
yeah,
fucking awesome.
we'll have to get in touch with them and
Yeah, cool.
and talk
Let's
to
just sort something out.
Yeah.
Maybe I can activate a couple of my food brands.
them. Let's get into it. So I want to ask, because we've sort of skated around the topic a little bit. Concept. Your venue that
You've
got,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you're
man.
talking about working hard and
Yes.
doing all this stuff on your Instagram and that.
Yep.
And what you're sort of doing is you've got a venue that.
Yeah,
is,
man. I've been
is-
building a functions events bar.
Yep.
Over the last year of my life.
Yeah.
Like all of 2019 was just me building this bar with my
Yeah.
business partner Leah, Big Girl Flicks, and we've created this event space.
Yeah.
That it's a creative event space.
Mhm.
It's a corporate function space, and it's a little bar as well, like a
Yeah.
foyer bar sort of thing for
Yeah.
those creative events. But it's also a bar for that, like a wine and a wine bar, just
Yeah.
wine, beer, spirits, chill
Yeah.
bar too. Because
Yeah.
I wanted to create a space in the valley that was open to being really versatile,
Yep.
very creative. Anybody can come in with their own concept and their own idea,
Yep.
and apply it.
Yeah.
We have a bespoke style VIP function room.
Yep.
You have your own bar and toilets at the back, and you can shut the door. It's a hidden sort of like room, and they can have their function in there. And the front bar can then operate independently, and you know, people can walk off the street. We can have a little kind of like groovy night in there, you know, playing some tunes, and then you know, I'm eventually going to finish building the kitchen in the other room, and that's going to be like dining, and I want other chefs, I want other food trucks, I want other food people to come in and use the space too and bring in their own concept.
Like a pop-up.
Yes, I want all pop-ups.
Yeah.
I want like food trucks and pop-ups. I'm not going to have, it's not going to be like one menu. Like, oh yeah, they do modern Italian, Asian fusion. No, I want like everybody bringing their
Tonight
concept.
we've got these guys in.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Or like for the month of April, we've got the chef from, you know, Beccafino's is going to do a pop-up, and he's going to be making like Mexican food because he has a passion for Mexican food.
And that's
but
not
he
what
owns
he usually
Italian
makes.
restaurants.
Yeah.
So I want to get like, chefs in that and can do a pop-up and cook the shit that they love cooking.
Yeah.
I'd love to get like some celebrity chefs come in and do a night.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you can buy a ticket and come in and dine and do something like that. That's eventually, that's another stage.
That's fine. So
Still
there's
working
heaps
on
of
it, man.
different... There's so many moving
Lots of
pieces
different
to
activations,
this.
and that's why we called it concept. Because we want to show you that we have conceptually designed the place to work with whatever you like to kind of like bring on board. And you can contact us, and bookings at cupo.com.au.
Yeah, we'll chuck all it in the notes.
And
so people can find it. Yeah. Easy to
And,
just click on the link, then try and type it off an audio.
Someone's like typing madly or on their phone. Or in their car. And it's that's kind of like the crux of it. And so I'm just madly scrambling it all together to kind of finish off. We've done a few soft launches and openings over the past month and a half of weekends. And now we've got our grand opening happening on March 13th.
March 13th.
Yeah,
sweet. Well, this will be out Tuesday, this podcast.
Damn.
So soon. So we can promo that. So
dude, we'll
March 13th,
let everybody know. Yeah.
Concept. So where is it in the valley?
So it's right on the corner of McLaughlin Street and Brunswick Street. Number 17 McLaughlin Street.
Okay.
It's
so it's near where Flying Cock and
it
TBC
used to be.
is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just behind that.
Yeah,
and opposite California Lane.
Okay.
And the 7-Eleven there.
Yeah. Nice.
Closer to Brunswick Street, and X-Cargo is just down the road. So that's the location. And it's a black and brick building. You'll see the little concept sign out the front.
I saw you put that up the other day on the Insta story.
That's the thing, you know, the content.
Yeah. That's
it, man. I did it. I've pretty much done it all myself. I've built the whole venue myself.
Yeah, I've been watching over the last couple of months since I've seen it.
I cut back all the concrete pillars. I've built all of the furniture. I've, you know, we had Leah, my business partner, Leah's husband, who's a painter. Very, very lucky to have him. That's done all the painting for us. But you know, we all helped do that painting too. And we've just done it all ourselves, man. Like, built it all.
That's awesome. I love that.
We've had help from real solid professionals, but I've taught myself how to do everything too. Man. Just watching little kind of YouTube channels, or just
like we were talking
standing
about
there
earlier.
for like 3 days, just figuring out how to do it. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm just sort of sitting in the space, figuring out how to do it, and then on Thursday I'll do it, and it's done. Might take me a week to do it, but I've done it myself. I've saved like $2,000, $3,000, and because we don't have any money, where like my DJing has been funding all this shit. Like, so all during the week I'm building this place, and then on the weekends I'm running around DJing late nights to sort of pay for it, right? And that's my investment, man. People have investment properties. People invest in other businesses. People invest in like, you know, shoes. People like, and YouTube channels. Podcasts,
equipment. All this studio stuff that we have here.
Man. This is your investment. So you work DJing, you work on your production skills that pays for all of this, and then go back in the business. And I think that's a much smarter way to run a business too. It's you operate your business to then, and the profits that come from it go back into the business to sort of build it. And that's
at least
how you
it
kind
gets
of grow.
to a really successful level. where you can go, all right, I can take a salary or
I
whatever.
can tell you a
yeah,
little.
yeah.
Well, you're always taking a salary from the
Mm.
get go. That is you reinvesting into the business because
Yeah.
you've got to pay yourself for the time.
Yeah.
So when I first created when we first created the idea of the business was like the first thing I said to my business partner was like, first thing we got to do is figure out the cost price for everything in this room and a cost price for our time, even just figuring out these cost price times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're like, okay, we've got to figure out how to do all of this. And then we've also got to put in that summary, a wage,
Yeah.
like a weekly or monthly wage,
Yeah.
and factor that in. So when we are charging people, we're kind of looking after ourselves. So for the starting period, we're not taking that wage because that wage goes back into the business.
Yeah.
But then once we get ahead of ourselves in the
Then
business,
that's what it
and
is.
then we can kind of activate that wage and we're getting what we're getting. So
Yeah.
for the starters, the investment is us foregoing that wage and it goes back into the business to sort of pay for little things.
Yeah.
So always kind of like implement that
Yeah.
structure. And that was something that I was like, we got to make sure we do. Anyway, moving forward, I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
All this hard work and all of this.
Well,
like,
you've got the
effort and stuff.
opening soon, March
Yeah,
13th.
man, yeah,
So,
yeah.
you're,
So
you're going to be.
Then we'll be opened every Friday and Saturday night, and we'll just be we'll just be operating as a bar and a functions and event space. So there's like lots of little different things that we have there.
Yep.
Lots of different clients come through and use the space, whether or not they be private events for birthdays, corporate functions, or they could be an art exhibition gallery or some type of like comedy festival, whatever. It's a unique, forever evolving and changing space, and we want it to be that type of kind of like venue.
Yeah.
But I also want that little front bar to just be a cool little hangout spot.
Cool
too,
little
man.
hangout spot. Come in, have a drink before you
Dude,
go to
totally.
play your gig somewhere.
Yeah.
We
We haven't got a late kind of club banging license. We're only open till 12. So come in before dinner or after dinner, a little stop off point. And catch up with some cool people and hang out, just a cool vibe.
And it's close enough to everything else as well. That
Mate,
it's,
right smack bang in the valley.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. It's not like you got to go out of your way to get there, kind of thing. Yeah.
Nah, dude. Yeah. So that's what I'm really passionate about and exciting about, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Finding the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm working at this place during the week, and then outside of that, I'll find the time for my DJing.
Yeah.
Or I'm DJing, and outside of DJing, I'll find the time to do this. I'm very lucky and blessed that I have a career that allows me to be that flexible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most other people are doing that 9 to 5 slog.
Yeah.
I was able to slot this concept in to my already small schedule of only DJing on the weekends.
Yep.
So I'm also able to kind of run and operate the bar early in the nights on a Friday and Saturday, and then go off and DJ late at night.
Yeah.
It has cut in a little bit, so I can't do those early DJ slots anymore.
Yeah.
And that sort of has hit the wallet a bit, but I know that the time that I'm putting in to working the shifts at concepts for these soft openings has helped us in the long run have that extra bit of money to be able to then go, when we start, we're on. And creating those relationships too, man.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I think I saw you had like a yoga thing there the other day. Today or yesterday, some kind of yoga.
It was yesterday. We had this kind of like techno yoga thing or something like that.
Techno yoga. That's dope.
I don't know the exact name of it. So sorry for the company that is running the techno yoga jams at my own space.
Yeah.
3 beers deep, it's kind of starts to sort of float out of your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like just that's upstairs. Because like what we were talking about, concept is just downstairs of the venue.
Okay.
But I've got a whole other business that I've been running for 4 years that is a huge open plan wedding space.
Oh, okay.
It's big, huge.
So you've been running that already?
Yeah. Upstairs has been running for 4 years. It's called Cupo.
Cupo.
CUPO. And that's been functions and events kind of space for ages. And we've been doing weddings and corporate events. We've been doing brand activations like Zane Rowe, Barney Cools, General Pants, Universal Store.
Oh, sweet. So
we've been
heaps of stuff,
Yeah, heaps of stuff. And we've got like a couple of clothing labels from Byron coming up and doing some a sale.
Yeah.
So heaps of cool shit, right? I'll let you know that. I'll keep talking. And
do it.
And so upstairs has been, wedding, like my mate Blair. He just got married there. He's a DJ in town.
Yep.
Local DJ, plays at Famous.
Yeah, sweet.
You know, shout out to Paddy Donahue and the boys, and you know, have just opened Ling Lings. So real proud of them and Justin Kong.
I was there last night.
That was sick,
First
man.
time there.
Great,
Yeah,
great
before I
fucking
came and
spot.
saw you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, really
Killing
good. Cool vibe there.
Mm-hmm.
Just different, you know, like. Yeah,
Different
good.
yet familiar because of what's already been there before. You know, like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a Lucid Laundry, a clothing label that Tristan Dines owned and operated, and then he was like, "I'm going to turn this into a dumpling bar," and then he made Brunswick Social.
Yeah.
And I was living with him at the time, and it was just fucking hectic, man. Like seeing what he went
Yeah.
through and shit. It was fucking crazy,
Yeah.
but so inspiring. That guy's a fucking legend, and
Yeah.
he then was like, all right, this has been doing for 4 or 5 years, and then he finished up and sold it to the Hey Ya Boys.
Yep.
And then the Hey Ya Boys had it for a while, and that was a great little dingy Japanese joint.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love what they were doing in the little back room. They had like comedy nights, they had bands,
All
It
kinds
was
of
sick,
stuff,
man.
eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It was really dope. And Jimmy Kicks was DJing there and booking it and stuff.
Jimmy Kicks.
Man, I've been wanting to try and. I was so many times he tried to get me in and DJ there because I was DJing Brunswick Social, but
Yeah.
just timing wise didn't fit.
Yeah.
And now it's turned into Ling Lings, and it's
Yeah.
just like, man, that's a great formula, and it sits there. I feel like it should never not be a dumpling bar. Now that
Yeah, it should always
it's
be
like,
dumpling. You got to be able to get dumplings
if
somewhere.
it ever
like-
becomes like a burger joint or a taco place or a
nah.
or some weird like little fucking Italian joint or French cuisine or something like that, I'm like, nah. It has
Nah.
to be a dumpling. Just like it's
Always
history is
for life.
ingrained. It's like that
Yeah,
kitchen
yeah.
is this tiny little kitchen that is like built for it.
Just
So-
for dumplings.
But no, man, those boys are killing it, man. It's great. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy for them and that re-injection of life and funness in the valley.
Yeah.
Some there's been moments it's gotten a little too serious,
Yeah.
especially with lockouts. That really
Oh,
it really kind of like dampened a lot of fun. But now that we don't have the lockouts anymore, people are a little bit getting back into like actually just realizing it's not as serious. It's just to have some fun.
it's just fun, eh?
Yeah.
Like, that's
So
what
that's
it's
what I
about.
wanted to. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do with Concept as well. Like upstairs is really sort of serious because upstairs of my venue is Cupo, and that's all those weddings and corporate events and
Yeah.
showcases. We do creative mornings there as well, and
Yeah.
that yoga thing that you said is like, man, there's so many different. It's like the most versatile venue in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I created it that way to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And we also I forgot what I was saying.
That
We also do
concept.
some other stuff.
Upstairs is more serious.
It's a dance studio during the week.
Yeah.
The most important,
Okay,
one of the
yeah.
most important things about the space is because the history and heritage of my business partner, Big Girl Flicks, and her business Elements Collective. Is,
Are we talking about Leah?
Yeah, Leah, tell me.
Oh, yeah. I know Leah.
Yeah?
Yeah, from at like, because all the Elements Collective guys used to come and dance for us at blah, 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 like for events and stuff.
All the time, man.
I didn't
And-
know we were talking about the same person right then.
Dude, straight
I was
up.
like, Leah, I was like, yeah, I know Leah, dancer, and
So
all that.
that's-
Elements Collective. Shout
that-
out Elements Collective, by the
Shout
way.
out. Shout in,
Fucking,
up, and
like-
around. Like, they've been doing it for so long. She has been. Like, Leah is just
Yeah.
like boss bitch. I wouldn't have gotten into business with anybody else. Like,
Yeah.
She just knows how to fucking look after shit.
Yeah.
She knows how to fucking take care of business and do it.
Yeah.
You know, so that whole process, and I'm like, I didn't want to lose that element per se as
That element,
the
yeah.
as the cultural history,
Yeah.
rich cultural history, because she was there about 3-4 years before I even kind of like, chimed in. And that whole kind of thing came about because I was actually hiring the corner office off her for my music studio.
Yeah.
I produced an EP. Shout out to my EP, which we'll put on the link.
Yeah.
Old
So
s-
many links
old
on this
school,
podcast.
Dude, old school, man.
Yeah.
So many links because I'm so old.
Yeah.
My walking frame's outside.
Yeah.
I then I was like, all right. She was thinking about taking the business in another direction, maybe sort of dissolving it or whatever. She just had ideas, and I was just like, whoa. Wait a second. I've got an idea of how we can kind of like, make this. Oh, there's the idea.
The idea being.
I said to her, look, I got an idea for the space, weddings. And she's like,
Yeah.
fuck off. Who the
Fucking
fuck's
wedding.
want to get it? Who the fuck is going to want to get married here? She probably didn't say fuck off. She said, what? No one's going to want to get married here.
Yeah.
And I said, trust me, people are going to want to get married in this place. We'll do a few little zhuzhs. We'll repaint because there were these terrible Beau Repairs orange walls. And we repainted it. We took out all the walls. I repurposed all of the wood and made tables and walls and stuff like that. And would you believe people have been booking weddings?
Yeah.
We're booked up to 2022.
Yeah. Oh, that's
We've
dope.
got some crazy brides and grooms that are like,
we want this.
yeah,
we want this.
Yeah, man, it's
and
crazy.
you're like, we can do it. We can do it.
Of course we
can do it.
Back in the day, back when we first opened, they're like, oh, okay, so we need this, this, and this. And Leah and I look at ourselves and we're like, fuck. Yes, of course, sure, sounds great. Let's do it. And we're like, fuck. Now we got to go out and fucking buy this, this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
We made it work, man.
Yeah.
But this also stems from my history of and background of DJing weddings.
Yeah.
I've DJed so many weddings that I know how a wedding works. So we weren't going in blind. Like we both had an idea about how events work. She loves events and she wants to eventually get more into events. She looked after all of the entertainment for Commonwealth Games. She helped curate that schedule.
Yeah.
Like the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, like fucking hell.
That's a big deal, man.
hectic,
That's a
dude.
lot, like, to do
man.
everything. Like,
And still running our business outside of her doing that. And that's
so
that.
both.
You can find the time, bro. You can find the time. She found the time to curate and operate and run the fucking Commonwealth Games at the same time still helping me run the business of Cupo and and everything. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, she still did it. And then the same thing happened a year later. She got the Brisbane Festival gig and she was one of the managing directors of things there. And she found the time to do that job during the week and out of hours still looked after all of our admin and back end operations while I was just like taking care of front of house and building the space.
Yeah.
So, that give and take.
Yeah.
And you can find the time, man.
Yeah.
It's like
it's there for you. You just have to figure it out.
If you ever have an excuse, then just think about the epic work that Leah had to fucking go through.
Yeah.
And plan and execute her own fucking wedding.
Oh, true. At the same time.
At the same fucking time.
Yeah,
all last year, man. It was just an absolutely hectic time of year.
Yeah.
And we somehow pulled it together.
Yeah.
Through fucking fights and tears and blood and sweat.
Yeah, all the things.
And banged up hands and nails and cracked out. Like, we got through it, man. Like,
yeah, nice.
I wish I had known about how to calculate my steps on my phone back when I was doing that because I was literally doing about 15,000 steps a day. It was just crazy. I still am. I'm still doing like averaging around about 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Just walking up and down the venue, going upstairs.
That's
doing
it. It's easy to do, eh?
But it's what I'm getting at is the fact that like you can find that time, man.
You always can,
dude. And
people need to
work on it. If you have a dream, if you have a passion, and if you have a goal, and if you have a drive to get there, you can. And even if you don't, just work on yourself and work on who you are and find out what you love doing and then do that.
Yeah.
And that's when you will go, I can find the time.
Yeah, if
Because
if you can't find the time, then maybe it's not for you.
That's exactly right, man.
Maybe
you
it's
just
not the
fucking took the
thing.
words out of my mouth. People need to kind of like reevaluate what they're actually doing. Like if you're kind of like, bit of a struggle to get up, a bit of an annoying thing to do, maybe it's not for you. Get out there, try something else.
That's it, man. Like I got home at about 3:30 last night. We got to sleep at 4 or 5 this morning, last night, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it was like when I woke up 3 minutes before my alarm.
Oh, I fucking hate that shit.
I know. You're
like,
laying there.
fuck's sake. I have just like, I set the alarm at a really good time. Like, this is going to be great. And then you just wake up 3 minutes before and you roll over, look at your clock and go, ugh.
But it's like, it's that same thing. It's like, well, no, we got to do this. We've got to sit here and podcast. We said we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
this is that passion outside of work. You
that's
push
it.
through, man. Like, the alarm went off and
I felt
I s-
I felt dusty when I got up. I'm not
Dude,
gonna lie, I
we-
felt a bit dusty.
yeah, we were Dusty Springfields,
Yeah.
and
Had to get our coffee and stuff.
yeah, you already had a couple. I
Yeah.
still got a little bit. I got my
Still
little
something
Frank
in there.
Green. Shout out Frank Green. I
Yeah.
saw your Frank Green.
Yeah, I got
Dude,
yeah,
how good.
I got a couple
Man,
of
I got one of the newer ones. And
Yeah,
it's
what's
got
the new
like
ones
it's got like
about?
this new kind of polycarbonate stainless
Oh,
steel
nice.
in a lining.
Because
Won't
it's
tip it
like
up too
the
much,
one
but-
I've got there's like a plastic one.
Yeah, you got the
It's kind
plastic.
of all plasticky.
Yeah. This got this.
Has this one got the
No,
the ones
didn't
that
get
have
the
the
pay
little-
wave.
the pay wave
I
thing?
did not
because-
want to get that because if I
because they
lost that
charge-
shit,
Yeah.
imagine if I fucking leave this somewhere, it's sitting down. Someone can be just like ordering coffees.
Oh no!
They'd be ordering other
coffee.
shit.
Just pay waving it on it.
That would be probably one of the dumbest thieves ever. It's like, oh man, I just found a coffee cup with like a free pay wave thing underneath. Man, I can get free coffees. Idiot.
So I wanna ask about how you first got started in music and DJing because
Fuck, how much more time have we got?
Well,
Jesus.
well, that's
I
it.
gotta be
You've
at a
gotta-
gig by 1
you
o'clock.
got to play it once. So you
Shit,
probably
I do. I got a gig in an hour.
We've got to play it. Yeah, so we've probably got a few
How we going
minutes
for the
to
Look
to
at all the
talk about-
spikes in audio. Is that me just getting excited about talking? Am I the top
it's
one or
probably,
bottom
no,
one?
I'm the top one
Oh shit.
because I'm real close to it. But I'll sort that out later.
Okay, that's all right. Then.
I'll figure.
You'll
that out.
normalize.
I'll
All
get
right,
it all
sweet.
sorted. Don't
I've
worry.
been trying to sort of like keep things a little, in that spectrum.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
Due
This
to
is the
my
first time I've
due to
used
my
these
mic
mics
control.
too.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
true. The first
it's-
time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue.
So how did you start?
Due to my knowledge of mic control and how this whole situation works, this isn't foreign to me at all. Studio equipment, racks, tables, microphones.
Yeah.
I grew up in a radio station.
Oh, really?
I would sleep underneath my dad's radio station desk, and I would get up early in the morning, and I'd go with him to do the drive, like the morning drive show.
Yeah.
He was one of the most popular AM radio announcers of
AM. Yeah.
of Brisbane and
Yeah,
let alone
yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, nice.
David Wildman.
David Wildman.
Yeah. 4BH 882.
That's
Um,
You've heard that before.
So yeah,
A
man,
lot of time.
I grew up around it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm so blessed to have grown up in an AM radio station as
Yeah.
opposed to an FM.
So what?
So an
How so?
AM radio station back in the day, and still kind of is, old and goldies, the best of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
And I was born 81, so they were doing the best of 50s, 60s, 70s. And so I grew up listening to Perry Como, listening to Rod Stewart, listening to ELO, listening to Little River Band and the Carpenters.
Yeah.
And that music and those artists like the Doobie Brothers and Michael McDonald, like
TV Brothers. You're just talking about all my dad's music. That
yeah,
He
Toto.
used to love. Like that.
I
That's
grew up on that shit.
ELO, Doobie Brothers.
So
like,
that's where my affinity for like music and just beautiful sounds, man.
Mm.
Like just studying Fleetwood Mac and Toto and
Yeah.
and Hall and Oates and that sort of shit. And even it goes deeper into like the Cheryl Lynn's and the like the soulful sounds of Teddy Pendergrass and like all of those sort of like artists as well.
Yeah.
They didn't play a lot of soul music, but there were some like Motown tracks that they would play.
Yeah.
So I would hear all of that Motown sound, but not too disco stuff. Dad would play more of the soothing, smooth grooves.
Yeah.
So like the slower Temptation tracks, the what are some of the other artists that were on that label? Marvin Gaye and Teddy Riley was producing stuff back then, but he was producing that sort of like earlier soulful shit. And anyway, I might be wrong with Teddy Riley. I think he was more 80s, but either way, I grew up on that sound.
Yeah.
And so Dad would play like Kamal as well. Like,
yeah.
So I grew up on that sound, knowing how this equipment worked, putting the music in. He used carts back in the day, like these 8-track carts. They weren't 8 tracks different to carts, but carts were like had a massive tape in the middle, and it was sandwiched between 2 pieces of plastic to create this kind of cassette. But it was a one-reel cassette. So
Okay, so it wasn't too real.
it wasn't 2 reels like a cassette tape, like
Yeah,
a deck tape that we have with our Walkmans.
no one listening now is going to even understand what we're talking
No,
about. Or
fucking
you
research
young
that shit.
kids.
Look that shit up and have a bit of a laugh about it. But
Yeah.
we were, I'd go in early, and one of my tasks would be to go through his playlist for the day that the station producer had curated, and Dad had some input on that as well. And then I'd go through and I'd have to pick out all the carts from the start to the finish. So I would be looking at I've been looking at playlists since I was fucking 4 years old.
Yeah.
And like as soon as I was kind of like able enough to kind of go with Dad to work and not be like, "Wah," and causing a ruckus, and he can control me and be like, sit there, shut up, and don't say anything, and I wouldn't say anything, and knowing when not to talk because he was on air and that on air signal, he would take me to work.
Yeah.
I have an older brother, and he'd already been doing that before me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was really excited to get into it.
Yeah.
And so there were times that we'd go together, and we'd go through and select all Dad's carts, and we'd put them in a rack, so he had a big rack and ready to go. It was almost like, selecting his records as well.
Yeah.
And then he'd have all these little 7-inches, and he'd have them all lined up. So from front to back was the first track of the, the show, and then it'd go all the way to the back. And Ash and I would get that ready. And as soon as we got all that done, he would start his show. Ash and I had chill time, right? So we would go through all of the carts and look at all of the artists. We'd listen to other music. We'd also find our way into the FM radio station we'd sneak into the FM station.
Sneak into the FM.
And we would look at all of the new songs that were coming out, because they would get all the new tracks from the 80s. And so we were discovering all of these 80s artists, and we would like getting records from all the shit that was coming out of that time. This is mid 80s, so I was born 81. So by the time I was 4 or 5, I was then late 80s, and that was when like hip hop was really popping off.
Yeah,
like taking it to that next level.
Yeah, yeah.
De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Run DMC, all that shit. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when Ash and I were kind of sneaking in the FM radio station, because they get all those promos. They wouldn't play it on their station, but they get the promos. So we would go to this like one little section of the station where all of we're not playing these promos, but we got given them for free. So we found out about all these record labels. And so we had access to like some dope shit that was coming out early.
Yeah, exclusive shit.
Man, we didn't know it was exclusive. We were just seeing it for the time. And
we
were just like, this is great, blah, blah, blah. As time went on, it got into the 90s. My brother was really kind of more clued in than me, right? Mm. So I'd be sort of like coming off the back of his kind of knowledge, and he'd see all of these like electronic artists coming through the station now. Like there was like this is early 90s hip house stuff. CNC Music Factory, and he'd then look into those artists and go, oh, who were these producers and who were they making this? And then like more kind of like dance producers, like oh man, I can't think off the top of my head. This is how it started. My dreams are broken hearted, and I want you. Like these house hip hop songs were coming out, and he was like seeing all these artists coming through, Norman Cook and Carl Cox.
Yeah, yeah.
All of these techno CDs were coming through the station. I was just like, I had no idea. But he was getting, and then he got into that. He got into dance music, got into breaks, he got into like techno, and he was like getting all the Pee Wee Ferris fucking albums and shit like that. Yeah. So I naturally progressed into that. But while he was getting to that, I was still stuck in the 70s rock and 80s rock, and I was getting into Van Halen, I was getting into Metallica and like heavy shit. I really found a connection with rock and heavy metal and shit. I love that. And so jumping between old Motown and soul and yacht rock, and heavy metal and rock in that kind of 80s to 90s period, and going through high school and shit like that, hanging out with lots of different groups of people in high school. I'd hang out with the heavy metal kids, and we'd be listening to Deftones and Soulfly and Metallica and shit. And then I'd be hanging out with like some of the jocks that were more into that pop music, so I'd hear that. And then I was like hanging out with just some neutral dudes, like with some surfers, because they were from from the Gold Coast or Sunshine
Yeah, yeah,
Coast,
yeah,
and so I'd be listening to some like funk and punk and funny shit, right?
yeah,
But then all the while, what really spoke to me the most was hip hop.
yeah, yeah,
So like listening to Run DMC and Jam Master Jay scratching on Run DMC
yeah.
was like, what the fuck is that?
What is that?
What
How
is
do I
that
get
sound?
involved?
What is that? What is that?
Yeah,
And I was like, man, I want to figure out how to make that sound. Oh, it's from manipulating a vinyl record that
Yeah.
I've grown up using, and I'd already put my hand on a record while Dad was playing, and I'd already sort of like move it and make a sound and then
Yeah.
let it go
Ooh,
and go.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, but it never clicked that I could make that a musical instrument. It never clicked that I
Yeah.
could turn that into something that you could actually use in a song.
Yeah.
So hearing Jam Master Jay do that, hearing Jazzy Jeff do that in music was just like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
DJ Hurricane from the Beastie Boys, man.
Yeah.
So I love that shit, and I fucking then was like, I got to find out how they do it. That's this. All right, I'm gonna buy a turntable and a mixer. I couldn't afford it. My brother was working. He bought me the mixer, and I invested myself in a turntable. I could pay off every couple of weeks
Yeah,
through
yeah,
a
yeah.
friend.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I had one turntable and a mixer. I had my dad's old record collection, and I just like started practicing scratching. I didn't
Yeah.
have another turntable. Just practice
scratching.
scratching and listen to songs, needle dropping, all these little techniques. Then when I could afford to buy another record player, I finally had that second record player, and
Yeah.
I could kind of like do that. And then I started to learn how to juggle and mix and scratch,
Yeah.
but the records I was using were like In Excess, Hall and
Yeah.
Oates, Michael Jackson.
It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't.
I was
like
using
dance
ELO,
stuff. Yeah.
Doobie Brothers. It wasn't dance. It was like those records. My brother was
Yeah.
like he had dance CDs, but I couldn't play the CDs. Sometimes I'd like pull out this little CD player. I'd put it up on the desk.
Yeah.
I'd put one of his Chemical Brothers CDs in, and then I'd scratch to that.
Oh, Chemical Brothers.
So
yeah.
man, like that shit was dope, and that's kind of like how I kind of got started in it all.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
So it's just the vinyl.
That's
So,
your
no,
that's
you're
your
a
third
vi-
beer of the day explanation of my history of music
That's
and
it.
how I got into
The
DJ.
vinyl life. I think that's interesting that you started on one deck. Like people wouldn't even think of that these days to start on one deck to learn techniques and things because it's
It allowed me to create an ambidextrous style that I have. Like I
Yeah.
can scratch and with both hands because like I'd sit there and I'd just be scratching with left hand on vinyl and right hand on the mixer, and then I'd just be like, man, I can't just be like this. I got to practice the other hand. So then I got on the other hand and did that, and it allowed me to do different techniques.
yeah,
It's like one thing that I see a lot of DJs do, and that always just irked me is like they can only do one thing on one side.
yeah,
So when I got into when I had a chance in the late '90s and early millennium to actually get up and do some scratching at like some of the breaks gigs that my brother was going to with at the Moon Bar,
yeah,
I was like, it didn't bother me what side that I could scratch on. Like
Yeah.
there were times that it was on different sides, and they were like, "Oh, do you need me to put the mixer on this side?" I'm like, "I can scratch whatever. Just
it
give me
wherever.
a record. Just give me a record.
Just
Give me
give me
some
whatever."
empty air.
Yeah.
Put the needle on like a no air, and I will scratch the shit out of it."
Yeah, yeah,
And that's one of the things I took from Mixmaster Mike. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, no matter where the needle skips and drops, you got to make something out of nothing.
yeah.
Like, don't be sort of all dainty and like, oh, I need that sample or
Yeah.
that fresh. Like, you just grab the tail end of a hi hat or a snare or like the
And you
the
make that
starting
work.
word of anything, and you fucking kill it.
Yeah,
And that was the mentality that I attacked the turntables with. Is like, mate, you find whatever you got and you kill it. And if you can kill it off just making something out of nothing, then that's like another level of DJing
Yeah.
that just gets unlocked.
that's it.
You're
That's
just
it.
unlocking doors, man.
It's like, have you seen like people grab the needle and put it on other stuff?
Yeah, like
not,
on the
you know what I
middle-
mean? Not
on
even
the
on
middle,
a record, just on a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
whatever.
Like
Yeah.
on the middle sort of
Yeah, and just like and use it as just a sound, like a tone, and
Yeah. Even
it's
like
crazy.
putting pressure on the needle and moving it across the lines and making this a sound.
It's
Taking
endless.
the
Possibilities
actual
are
needle
endless.
out and using the inside little holes and making the thing. Like Newmark was a fucking genius at that, man.
Yeah,
He made some cool shit out of cool sounds out of like pressing that. Newmark, Cut Chemist from Jurassic 5.
Yeah.
I'd always loved seeing their innovative sets. They were so
Yeah.
fucking innovative and
Yeah.
you know, next level. They just thought next level, man. They thought outside the box, man.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
DJs
exactly.
were like, yeah. And with the DMCs and stuff, like they were great. After Craze had won like his third year, I think it was his third year that he did a little bit of a needle drop routine that was like
Yeah.
everyone went
Oh my God.
inspiration. The next year,
Just
people were
changed
fucking
the
dropping
game.
needles, just doing weird shit. The next year after that, people were adding fucking, I think it was DJ Sid. No, DJ Sid was Slipknot. DJ Sip or Sizz or something.
Yeah.
He's from Holland, I think, or
Okay,
Sweden.
yeah.
And he was throwing fucking kerosene on the record and lighting on a fire, and he was just like doing "Come on, baby, light my fire" sort of routine.
Just going nuts.
Or just doing something, and I was just like, man, this is so fun.
Yeah.
I love that shit. A lot of other DJs kind of went, "Oh, it's whack, it's all gimmicky and shit." Like, look at me, I'm fucking cooking while I DJ. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I know that's a gimmick. I know that's fucking whack, but I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it so it's actually like, you know what? I know how to DJ. I'm not just fucking trying to bite on a really cool kind of thing or something weird.
Yeah. It's your own
And
thing.
make money from it. I'm like, dude, I'm going to do this right.
Yeah, nice.
And fuck it up, you know? And so, yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are.
And
now
here
I'm
we
sitting on
are.
a couch drinking beers on a podcast with
That's
my
it.
boy.
Well,
This is fucking
man,
dope.
so good to have a chat. You've got to go to a gig. So
I still got another 15 minutes.
oh yeah, you still got some 15
You got any more?
minutes.
Yeah, you got any more questions on the back burner?
To be honest, I got to go take a piss. If I'm
Mate,
being honest.
I've had to pee for the last hour. It's that that DJ Olympics
Oh
bladder.
yeah, well I can't beat you with that. Then. I can't beat you.
Winner.
You
I'm on
win.
top of the podium.
You win this round. So
All right,
but,
let's take a quick break. We might even pop this popcorn real quick and have a little.
Yeah, for
snack,
sure.
Snack. So you
All right,
pee,
sweet.
and then we'll get back to it.
Let's go for it.
That's fucking hilarious. Dude, this is going good.
Oh, I need so bad.
You should have said earlier. Look at you. You're walking.
I have to walk like
You're all crooked. Oh, mate, love it. Oh, dude, yeah, no, the coffee runs through you, bro. Oh, I wonder if it's still recording. Is it? It is. It is still recording. This is podcast with Cutloose. We are still recording. He's gone to pee. These are some behind the scenes sounds of my voice. These are some attributes I picked up from my father. I'm very blessed. Shout outs to Papa Loose, David Wildman. But I'm Trent Wildman, DJ Cutloose, coming to you live from the Boy King Koi recording studios. And this is his show, A Beer With ... Cutloose. Fuck, that was gay. That was really good. Anyway, still sort of sitting here. He's taking a really long ass piss. That's the other thing. Like I talked about how I can hold my bladder, but I'll be holding it for that 3 hours, whatever. When I have to finally take that piss, it is forever. It's like that scene from Austin Powers when he wakes up from being asleep for 30 years that he has to take a piss. Fucking awesome. I do need to take a pee, but I'm like wondering if I'll just wait until, because this is the other thing too. When you're thinking, oh man, I've got to pee, but it's like 12:22. I'd rather record some really cool content while I'm still here.
There you
before
go. Back
I
on
have
the
to-
Gary V.
Before I have to,
Content. Yeah. Before you got to do that.
Before I actually have to go pee and go to this DJ gig, or do
Yeah.
I just keep holding on till 1, get to the gig, start the gig, put on a long song, and then go pee? You know.
That's well, because it's a Sunday at 1 o'clock.
But then I might get to the gig at 1 o'clock, holding onto the pee to do that, execute that idea, and then it's bumping. and all
Yeah,
like the kids.
and you don't.
And I'm like, man, I can't leave the decks. I can't because this is bumping. And I got to choose the tunes. If I put on this really long song, they're going to become complacent. They're not going to see the DJ.
Yeah.
What's going on, and lose the crowd, lose the vibe, and yeah. So then I have to hold on even longer. So I've been holding on through a podcast, through traveling to the gig, doing the gig, and then afterwards I'm like, all right.
Where are you playing, by the way?
Playing Burn Lane.
Oh, Burn Lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
They do a every Sunday they do a brunch club.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And yeah, man, I DJ every Sunday.
Yeah,
Not every
nice.
Sunday. I think I've got 3 Sundays this month, but I think this is a crazy month. We've got like 4 or 5 weekends this month.
Is that more than usual?
Well, how many weeks are in a month?
Usually 4 maximum. Yeah.
And sometimes the weekend might start like just at the tail end of another month, and then the 4 weeks, then you catch maybe only 3 weekends in a month. But this is like 5, I think.
5
weekends in a month. It's a rare kind of occasion. Anyway, I did a bit of commentary while you were taking a piss.
Yeah, good.
So have a listen back and see, see if we can use it.
I will. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, well, so because I'm going to show you this setup out here because I think you're going to really love the setup out at Frequencies here. Just quickly, so maybe we will wrap it up now, just so that we can go and do that. And I don't want you to be late to your gig,
man. I wish we had more time. I feel like this needs to be like a fucking 3-hour podcast, like Joe Rogan style.
I wish I could do those.
I wanted to ask you questions, man. Like this has all been
we
about
can do
me.
another one.
I wanted to ask you where you started, like how you got your kind of like your ideas in music. What are your influences? Like, let's do that. Like, I told you earlier.
Yeah. Okay, so I've done music.
Was your influence
my whole life?
Don't give me the backstory. We'll do that another time. But
all right,
what's
influence?
One or two artists that just really spoke to you that you kind of like stands out. Like that was a moment.
I think for me, like Deadmau5 was a big influence back in the day when he did his progressive sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Where the big melodic breakdowns and then the drop was a release. He would build the tension but it wasn't.
He did build tension.
It wasn't like it was a melodic tension. It wasn't a rises and snares and drums sort of a thing. It was more like a dissonance and disharmony, and then to release into the harmony, which is what makes it so beautiful.
So true.
And I even said to someone last night, I said, because they had just been to Hidden, the festival, and I said, oh man, I like after a festival, because I would usually go to dance music festivals. I don't want to go out to a club because I'm sick of hearing a bloody kick drum on every, like house and that kind of like vibe. So I'm like, I don't want to go out after a festival because I just want to listen to silence, maybe talk to some people, hang out, do whatever. But I'm not keen to be hearing more kick drums, basically.
Dude, like when I've finished a DJ set, sometimes I'll when I was having to drive distances between home and the club gig, I just put on I think it was 103.3. It's just the orchestral station.
Oh yeah.
So I just hear like
love orchestral stuff.
Because it had this really nice sort of like background tone. And
do you have a favorite symphony?
A favorite symphony?
Yeah, I do.
Oh man,
I've got one.
I actually I can think of only a few, and I would only say that they're kind of my favorites because I've heard them over and over again.
Yeah, and you know them,
and they've been sampled in hip hop.
Yeah,
but I'm not like a full orchestral aficionado that I could go like, oh yes, Rachmaninoff's sixth concerto of B minor scale, whatever. But
well, my favorite is Berlioz's Symphony Fantastique.
Ooh.
Particularly, I think it's movement 3 is March of the Witch or March or something like that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's it's really cool.
That's now inspired me to go check that out and listen to it and see what part it is. So
Berlioz.
Put that in the link. There's another link.
Put that in the link. Too many links.
So many links.
And the other one that because I come from a classical background, I used to play trumpet.
Right.
So I played the Lord of the Rings symphony, but it's the one for the books, not the movie.
How different is that?
It's really cool because each movement has a description of what it's about, and it's like almost pulled the table.
That was good.
And it's like the first one's like Gandalf the Grey or whatever, and it's like the whole thing. It explains the whole story of the of the movement, and
Wow.
it sounds so, and it sounds exactly like it says. It's like now
That's
he's
fucking
riding on
sick.
Shadowfax, and it sounds like he's riding on a horse. You know, like
But they've used the
stuff
symphony to create that
to
kind of
create
vibe
that.
and
Yeah,
that
like
feeling.
you could close your eyes and see him. Like, oh yeah, I can definitely see he's like on a horse, like
I love
riding
that
now,
shit.
like-
I think more of this new generation need to experience some of those sensory moments
yeah,
and not have everything at once in front of them.
yeah,
Listen to, say, a soundtrack of something without seeing the visuals.
Yeah.
And visualize it yourself.
Yeah.
And really kind of
'Cause
like
that's what it used to
experience-
be about.
That's right.
And that's what symphonies are about. Like you see,
I mean, it used to be about that when with radio.
Yeah.
People were
Yeah,
entertained by
exactly.
the radio.
Remember War of the Worlds? When
War
it
of the
came-
Worlds.
when it came out of
That was amazing. Like there's, I used to play that. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh man, I remember having that
dun,
CD
dun,
at home.
dun. I had the record.
Yeah.
That's in the record. Like going back to the start, we were talking about. There's a little part in the record where it's like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the needle's been played on that spot so many times. That War of the Worlds record of Dad's, man. Yeah. So I had to buy him a new one because I'd fucking burnt that shit out. So that was amazing. Reading the story and having H.G. Wells talking, and it's like War of the Worlds, and he talks about the actual story.
Yeah.
Like that was fucking amazing, right? And then back in the days, like you had the Goonies, and they were on radio, and people would pull a chair up to the radio. That was their entertainment.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had to visualize the stories that they were saying and telling. And I think there needs to be more kind of things like that. And that's why I love podcasts, because people are walking between work.
Yeah.
And they're listening
Yeah.
and they're visualizing, and the podcasts are just blowing up, even though they were like sort of started to blow up like
A couple of years,
7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. They've gone to
and
another level
It's
now.
just taken it to
It's
another
like
level
everyone
now.
has a podcast.
Everyone has podcasts, but
Everyone has a podcast.
also because it's only gone to that next level is because we have more affordable equipment that's good.
Yeah.
Back then we couldn't, man. You could hear the reverb in the room. You could hear all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Now look at us. We're so close. We're all defined. Like your next step is getting headphones. Like
Yeah, that's the next
And
thing.
that looks
like, but then I have
pro,
to
eh?
have the mixer and stuff
Yeah,
set
fuck
up
that.
with individual channels.
As long
hey,
as-
we'll get there eventually.
As long as you've got this near field mic, it'll be really good to
Yeah.
find out how well this road picks up me saying talking in front, talking to the left, talking to the right.
Well, it's going to
And
be
this,
a
back and forth.
it's going to be a bit of an experiment,
Yeah,
really.
man.
This one,
I'm
like, to
fucking
see.
excited about it too,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Because
it's good.
like this could be a newer way of you doing the podcast without having those headphones and being fucking all
Yeah.
like fartsy. So
Well, because usually I would use just a recorder up on the desk over there, and we
dude,
sit
this
over here.
this next level, this podcast is like the launching.
It's a
podcast.
launching platform.
Dude, this is gonna take you to that next level.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
This,
Well, it's
this
2020, bro. It's 2020. We've got to do
Yeah,
it. You
fucking
can't.
right. Get off your ass and get this shit
That's
done.
like you said. Make time for it. Like save your money, save your pennies. Don't get that coffee. Don't do this. Buy the equipment. Like
Dude, great advice.
don't have that beer at the club or whatever.
Dude.
Whatever it is, and get it and do it.
Don't
and-
grab those extra snacks at the supermarket.
Yeah,
Just get what you need.
I got
That's
these
gonna
for
fuel
free,
the
by the
bowl.
way.
Exactly. He
Didn't
so all right.
even
So
pay
don't
for
even
them.
think. Don't even
The
think he put
popcorn's
that.
free. The nuts. Yeah, I probably bought them, but it's all good.
Yeah, but you
The
bulk
popcorn's-
bought that shit, and that's been sitting there for
Yeah,
ages,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
nuts last, man.
Yeah.
It's going to take ages for them to go rancid. But
So
that was a
long.
good band too. Rancid was a good band, like
Yeah.
good rock band. Yeah. But no, man, it's like you taking this shit to the next level. I'm so fucking blessed to be a part of this.
Oh,
And
thanks,
the fact
man.
that
yeah.
the fact that you invited me on and you reached out to me was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really fucking cool.
Well, because
man.
I've known you for ages and you do
Dude.
cool shit, so it's and I know you've got so much going on at the moment and stuff. And,
Man,
like it's always good to get that different perspective from someone who's been around for a while, like yourself. Like
man.
I get lots of sort of younger or newer guys in, and it's great to hear their perspective, but it's just different to hear. I never knew that you started. In a radio station with your dad, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
cool.
cool. And I don't
Yeah.
know how many people do know that about you, and it's cool to be able to share
It's
that.
I
With
think it's a
everyone out
sentence in my bio, but
Yeah.
who fucking reads bios, man? Like shit.
there. Nah,
It's a
never
pretty
read
wanky bio.
Who reads bios?
But it's there because it has to be when you're a DJ, when you are your brand. You need to have these certain things to
Yeah.
push your brand.
Yeah.
To you need your bio, you need your press shots. Like you need to do all this cheesy stuff to push through, and that's once again going back to like what I said earlier. Like you are your fucking business.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to do everything. You got to learn how to cut your videos, you record your music, post to Instagram, build, make a SoundCloud, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter account, link them all together. Like, you got to do all that shit, man. There's companies out there that have dedicated parts of their business that look after that shit.
Yeah.
You are your business. You have to do all of it, man. And I think it's definitely one of the most like eye-opening kind of professions.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck.
It's very entrepreneurial, isn't it?
And in
that sense.
all of that, you're still having to try and be creative and passionate and, you know, outward. And that's why it's such a difficult fucking profession. And it's also why it's like a lot of people can't survive. A lot of people fucking also just shit goes weird. Like the amount of artists and DJs that I've seen come through Brisbane.
Oh, you would have seen,
that have like they started off on going, man, this DJ's dope, man, he's gonna be good, and then he just got caught up in drugs, he caught up in drinking, he got caught up like not being able to release his music or learn to let go and release
whatever
tracks,
it is,
whatever it can be. There's so many
things
little
that come in the way,
can go wrong, and that then made them not kind of like thing. It's there's only a very small few that actually kind of push through and make it. And can find that balance, man.
I always say that like I've seen way better producers and DJs than myself come and go over the years, who I thought would have been massive, just didn't happen for whatever reason it is. You know, like you know the reasons you said.
It's tough, man.
But it's like
it's tougher than people think, man. Like having to balance that lifestyle as well. Like I've been going out to clubs almost every weekend for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you're just like an average, like, you know, person just kind of like going out in a nightclub, like, you know, and having a good time on a Saturday night and like, you pre-game with your mates, you girls get ready and you have a few wines and then you get to the club and you dance for a bit, you have a few more drinks and you're like, oh, fuck, I've spent $100. It's like, oh, I'm wasted, I'm going to go home. Then you go home. Like, can you do that every weekend for 20 years?
Yeah, but not even it's not even just every weekend. It's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
for a lot of it. It's not just once. It's not just one night a weekend.
No,
it's like
not
multiple.
that
like when I
it
was
is...
DJing full time, I was doing Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and then going to uni.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that was your hustle, man. Like you find your hustle, and you had to find the time because your passion for the music was.
But like, how many people can do that? Go out, be the life of the party, be the person upstage everyone's looking at. Everyone's, if you don't want to be that guy who's just like.
Whether you like it or not, you are on that pedestal.
Yeah.
And it takes a certain type of personality to be able to kind of balance that idea of, am I going to take advantage of this situation or am I going to just kind of like fade in the background and be a little kind of chill and let my music do the talking? Or am I going to perform?
Yeah.
I went more of the performance route.
Yeah.
I like being up there and working the crowd and using music in that way because I'm so passionate about each song and it has its own little identity, rather than just play some tunes. For example, Tipper is one of the most boring fucking DJs you'll ever see in your life, but he's technically just fucking sound on the scratch and his production is next level.
Yeah.
He actually knows this himself. It's really funny. One of my favorite moments of Tipper when he played at Barsoma. And he was chatting to me and my brother because he's really good friends with my brother, and he was chatting about like just music stuff. It's like and poor guy was having some back problems, and God bless him. And he looked at the time. He's like, "Oh, I'll go now." It's like, "Get ready to see the world's most exciting DJ, yay!" And then he walked on stage and literally just stands there, and he's like,
nothing.
So boring to watch. But you close your eyes, and he is killing it.
Yeah,
fucking genius, man. So there's these. That's the payoff, man. His production speaks for itself. I recommend you and everyone who's listening, take the time out, find the time.
Yeah,
make the time
because you can make the time and find the time
and listen to his album. It's like a 360-degree audio album, and try and listen to it on some really good quality headphones or at like a 5.1 surround sound system. It's built and he designed it to play off
Surround sound.
surround sound, and it's
Ah.
360 degrees. He produced this album that just like works all of the speakers. So you either listen to it in your headphones, and he uses all of this spatial awareness and
Yeah, to move around,
oh,
yeah.
dude, it's fucking amazing. So
That sounds dope.
yeah, and then
That's
listen to some of his dope trip hop albums, like
Yeah.
his trip hop album, Tip Hop.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the album that came after that was just so
Yeah, yeah.
it's just wobbly and
Sound design,
drippy
wobbly,
and
yeah.
everything, man. So it's so clean. You can hear all the intricate levels, and he was definitely someone who I was inspired by to try and create some of the glitch hop I was creating at that
Yeah.
time. Released a few tracks. I've got heaps more. I've got a whole unreleased album that we haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And the EP that I released like a couple of years ago, I had Enfer on there. I had a dude from LA that I met, MC Research. It was dope as shit. And it was just probably one of the small little things that I was able to release and let go of as a producer. I haven't even started chatting to you about production.
Production.
And that is like learning to let go of a song. Learning to let go of that
there's
music.
so much. You're gonna
just
have to
sitting
come
on
back.
this-
You're gonna have to come back, Trent.
So
Because
this is part one?
this is part one. Because I'm just looking at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got 20 minutes to get to your next gig.
That's
to your
nothing, man.
gig.
I've had 5 minutes to get to the next
Who's on
gig
before you? Do you know?
No one. I'm
no
walking,
one.
I walk in cold.
All right. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, so people are
Um,
halfway through their brunch, and then it's like dropping. I'm just going to be playing some really cool vibes and chilled sort of stuff, So yeah, but
Yeah.
cool shit, Like I just try to keep that backbone of it cool.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I know the vibe. I know.
Yeah, right.
But
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So you'll have to come back in again because there's so much we didn't touch on at all. Like it's always good when you get a guest in who has things to talk about.
Part
can
two,
talk.
man, it's on its way.
Part 2, we'll
Dab
do
it
it
up.
again. But next time we'll cook something as well.
Yes,
'Cause-
I'll
'cause
bring
I
in
love
something.
cooking
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
Shit, we did say we're going to crack the popcorn.
Because I love cooking as well. So
Oh yeah, we'll do a cook thing. And
we'll do
this is-
something cool.
And this is for the ASMR people.
Great
I
podcast,
watch-
man.
I watch all those videos, man, like those ASMR videos, and they're all those intricate sounds, and it's so funny, man. There's like,
Start putting in some music.
dude, it's
Yeah.
like you want to, but then you're like, oh, I don't want to take away from the actual thing. So I'm thinking, I would love to try and make a song out of these ASMR videos.
Yeah.
So you're hearing all like,
All right, you got to come back again. We've got to have another podcast. So where can we find you online? Just let us know. Cutloose, basically.
man, I think like the first port of call for me is my website, cutloose.com.au.
Easy.
And then from that, my Instagram is something that I update the most.
Yeah.
Facebook every now and again. But like my website's got my gig guide as well, so you'll be able to kind of like just see the clubs that I'm playing at if I manage to update them.
Yeah, nice.
Instagram's the most. Facebook. Another thing we didn't touch on is that I also have a drum and DJ show that I do with Dr. Rhythm, Johnny Drama, and he plays drums. I DJ. We've had a 10-year residency at the Beach Hotel.
Nice.
So that's Rhythm and Cutloose. And so you can just find like all the shit on my website, and then you can kind of like go from there. And Instagram's like one of my main updates.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how I can incorporate TikTok in my food.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. There's definitely something in there.
Man, it is the next little platform. I'm worried that it could get stuck in the Vine world.
Yeah,
Remember
but
when Vine came and gone? But it really did create
I
a whole
literally
bunch
just
of
saw
legends from it,
Gary V talk about it today, and he said,
Man.
well, Vine was real for people who got on
Used it.
board and then
You got King
became
Batch,
big.
you got Leela
Yeah.
Pons, you've got like those idiot brothers from that are fuckwits.
So regardless
Like
of whether it's still
And there's
around,
heaps of comedians that came from that too,
Yeah.
man. Like, what's that other dude? He's really funny, and I've forgotten his name. Heaps of tats, short hair, and he had a dog, Buster Beans, who sadly passed away. Shout outs to Buster Beans. You're up there with Kobe and Gigi now, but he had a fucking great channel too. Really funny shit, and they built a career and now have they're earning fucking thousands of dollars off Instagram and their accounts because of the reach that they started with Vine. It was a
Exactly.
platform, and I feel TikTok's going to be like that. TikTok's going to be another little Vine sort of thing where you're going to use it for what it is and how it works, and you're going to find a whole bunch of inspirational people.
Yeah.
And then you're going to it might merge or go in some other direction. I was burping while I was saying that. That's why my voice changed.
Yeah, I could tell.
And then, you're going to have that platform kind of like inspire something else, and that those people that really rocked TikTok move to the next thing.
Yeah.
TikTok, it started off, it's like a lot of people just dancing to music videos now, right?
Yeah,
And they're just doing like little split screen
but
stuff.
it'll change. There's heaps of comedy stuff I've
Because
seen.
there's more people that are going to get inject their own personalities into it. So the easiest thing is, as we all know, music and dancing. It's very simple. You know, anybody
Everyone
can
gets
kind of,
it.
Everybody gets that. It's all accessible. But it's what's going to really kind of like be exciting is how people get really creative with it.
Yeah. That's
Like you're
always
saying,
what's so exciting about stuff, right?
And it's all there on our phone, man. All there on the phone.
That's it. All right, great way to end the podcast.
Thanks so
Have
much.
a good one, man. We've got to come back
having
for
me.
part 2 because we didn't talk about production or any of that stuff. So I definitely think we'll do that again. But thanks for coming in, brother.
Man, thank you for
First
having
video
me.
podcast, new equipment. It's
Respect,
exciting
dude.
times, bro.
Respect. You're really kind of pushing this forward, and there's not too many other people in Brisbane that are actually kind of like taking it to that next level of podcasts and actually making something of it. Keep pushing through, man. Patience.
That's it.
My
Just
words
keep
for this
working on it.
year. My words for this year are patience and balance. You
Yeah.
know, like that's what
Yeah.
I'm really kind of like having to hold on. And that patience, like I need to pee. Patience.
All right. Everyone out there, thanks for tuning in to the first video podcast. Yeah, dope little one. Check out Cutloose at any of his gigs. Go check out his website, cutloose.com.au.
Yep.
Super easy to find. And
And then we've got cupo.com.au.
cupo.com.
That's the venue.
Yeah.
We'll have all the descriptions in the bottom or up top.
Yeah.
Things will pop around. You know.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
YouTube channel or whatever.
Hopefully.
Well, this will be the first
Hopefully.
one, right?
Yeah. We'll
Sick.
We'll try and sort it. I'm gonna try. I think the rest of today is gonna be trying to get the video sorted and play around.
And
with
if you're
it, so-
still listening this far into the podcast, I've got 15 minutes to get to my gig. This is what we're talking about. You'll find the time. Like just to finish on this note and just to do that
do
right
it.
shit.
Find the
Fuck yeah.
time. Stop making excuses. Get out there and figure out what you love and do more of that.
Yeah, man. Part 2 on its way.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.